Welcome, everyone, to the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, TJ, and with me again, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the grumpy old man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grump.
Yeah.
This year has a different feel about it.
It does. 2021. It's a new year, different than any other year.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. We're going to dive into the game, obviously. I thought that was an excellent game by the Islanders. I thought first period we had bountiful chances offensively. I thought we did a really, really good job there, especially towards the end of the game for the most part, just shutting down the Tampa Bay Lightning offense and not allowing them really to exit their defensive zone. That was an excellent game won by the Islanders. I know it was 2-1, and I'm sure some people were sweating on the end of their seats towards the end of that game after the Lightning brought it within one goal after that power play on Brock Nelson, or after that penalty there on Brock Nelson. But that was an outstanding team effort today.
Everybody was white knuckling it at the end. I know they were. I was. I mean, here's the thing, right? What happened? Where did the game change? I mean, I know we don't want to dive into too much, but for me, the game started a little bit differently, and there was one play that kind of turned the game around, and it was a real simple thing. And the talking heads on NBC even mentioned it, which I was surprised at. And we can read our ad first, and then we'll get into it.
Well, all righty there, bro.
One other thing, DJ, before I started watching some of these YouTube things, and every smart YouTuber, you know what they say at the beginning? They say, if you like our whatever,
if you like the content, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Grump, we'll get to mention that.
No, but you see, see, let me finish. They say that right at the top. They don't wait 2 hours and 25 minutes in. They say it right at the top. So if somebody who's just on here for the first time, they say, hey, you know what? What do I do to watch TJ and the Grumpy Old Man? I love them. I don't know what to do. Do I have to listen to 2.5 hours before they get to this information? They usually, on the other podcasts, they don't do it. Maybe you know better than them. I'm sure you do. But I'm just saying that's what I've seen in the past, just recently.
Well, thank you there for that, Grumpy. But yeah, remember, guys, you guys can find us there. You guys can keep up because every single post-Islander game, the rest of the NHL playoffs, we will be going live after every single one of those games. So best way to tune in, make sure you don't miss out on any of the content, is subscribe there, either whether you listen to it on podcast or if you watch there on YouTube or any of the other social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. But we do have an ad there to read by DraftKings. The second round is in full swing of the NBA playoffs, and as action increases from game to game, this is where the contenders are separated from the pretenders. To give you some skin in the game, DraftKings will be offering you free-to-play pools every day of the NBA playoffs, offering players a free shot at $10,000 in total prizes. That's up to $10,000 in total prizes up for grabs each day. The best part is it's free to play. DraftKings free-to-play pools are easy to enter. Just download the DraftKings app and go to pools and choose from a wide variety of free contests for an opportunity to win cash prizes. All you have to do is answer a handful of questions around what you think is going to happen that day during the NBA games, and track your results through the evening. Questions will range from what team will hit the most threes to who will score first. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use the promo code THPN when you sign up for your free shot at $10,000 in total prizes every day of both the NBA and NHL playoffs. Head to DraftKings pools page now for your shot at huge cash prizes. Again, that's promo code THPN for a limited time only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for full details, grumpy old man.
Yes, so that is correct. THPN stands for the Hockey Podcast Network.
Ah, there you go, Grump. I want you to get back to the point, though. You were saying that there was a moment that changed and altered game one and kind of shifted the momentum. What was that point, Grumpy?
It was on our second power play, and after we had banged our head against the wall repeatedly, trying to walk the puck into the zone where they had 4 across the line, Matt Barzal, our hero, Matt Barzal, decides to dump it in from the red line, and we chased it. That gave us prolonged, and we had offensive zone time on the power play. We had numerous chances, and we were off to the races. I thought the game changed on that dump in, because even like I said, the goofs at NBC, I won't say the goofs, they know what they're talking about, but they even picked up on it right away. Barzal did it the first time, and I'm like, okay, we can't do that. And then who tries it the second time because he doesn't learn the first time? Josh, the king of the secondary assist, Bailey, tries the same thing, but he's nowhere near as good as Matt Barzal.
Josh Bailey. Stop. Josh Bailey had a primary assist today, Grom.
I don't care. Well, he did not have a primary. Oh, yeah, he did have a primary. That's right. Actually, he had a typical Josh Bailey assist. He dumps the puck into center ice from behind his own blue line. Matt Barzal does his whistle tree and scores. That's a typical Josh Bailey play. I'm not saying Josh Bailey played wrong today.
Stop.
All I'm saying, let me finish.
Wizardry. It's a wizard tree.
Wizardry, yes, wizard, like a wizard. All I'm saying is that after Matt Barzal tried to go up against the line of 4 there on the first power play attempt, and it got turned around to a scoring chance the other way, Josh Bailey does it not 25 seconds later. I'm like, Bailey, you moron. Were you not watching that it didn't work? And then who does it the next power play? The first one was Croc Nelson. Tries to do the same thing, and he gets picked off again. Finally, the only guy on our team smart enough to realize, hey, that's not going to work anymore, was Matt Barzal. He dumps it in. We get offensive zone time. We have good cycling the puck on the power play, and the game has changed, and the Islanders won game 1 because of it.
Jesus, Grump. Get a breath, Grumpy. You're long-winded there. Catch yourself a breath, my friend. We're in for a long one. Don't need to go ahead and blow your load at the first 10-minute mark, Grump. That being said, I think that helped change. There were so many opportunities in that first period where, the Islanders missed here a chance. Vasilevsky came up, big in a save opportunity. This game was the most dominant we have looked against the Tampa Bay Lightning, I would argue, in the playoffs, even looking back into last year. It really is. I mean, you look at all the chances we had. Josh Bailey had an excellent chance. He puts that backhand, rings it off the crossbar. Anthony Beauvillier has a few excellent opportunities and chances. Kyle Palmieri has a few golden opportunities there in the first period as well. Matt Barzal walks and skates around Victor Hedman like he is a pylon. and goes ahead and Vasilevsky just makes that reactionary save off his elbow, all in the first period. Ladies and gentlemen, this year feels different. This year is different. I think that's going to be the headline of the podcast and the live stream. This year is different. I really feel like it is. We had opportunities, and every single time Tampa made a plethora of mistakes, we were able to make them pay. Sergachev, I think, had 6 of his 7 turnovers are all unforced errors. Sergachev had a miserable game today. And man, oh man.
Okay.
Vasilevsky let that one go right in through his stomach. Sorry, I gave you a little bit of a break there, Grump. But Vasilevsky let that one go right through his stomach. The Islanders take game 1.
Okay. Now, here, I just want to let everyone on the podcast know that TJ is prone to these prolonged pauses. And sometimes when I figure he stops talking, he's done talking. But I was informed after our last podcast that no, TJ's taking these pauses for who knows what reason, but I don't know when he expects me to be able to speak. I mean, you start saying something, you stop, and I start chiming in, and then you start, hey, I'm not done yet. Well, how about you continue talking till you are done?
Here it is, Grump. You give me the name, the human cliffhanger. I figure it might as well live up there to the name, Grumpy Old Man. You give me the name, the human cliffhanger. I might as well go ahead and, live up to that name, Grump.
I can have plenty other names for you that we can use on this podcast. Just let me know. I can just let you know.
Oh.
But going back to your point, at the point of that power play dump in by Barzal, we were down in shots 7-1. And we totally turned it around from there. We were 13 and 6 the rest of the way, but we certainly took over from that point on. We played Islander hockey. What were the keys to the series? You remember what I said the keys to the series were on the last podcast? I know everyone out there in the internet stratosphere know, but TJ, do you remember?
Grump, enlighten us. Remind us what you said were the keys to success for people who are first-time listeners as well, Grump. Remind us.
I have them written down because they're very, very important. Attack Sergachev. Number 1, attack Sergachev. He turned the puck over at least 7 times today.
He had 7 turnovers. 6 of those turnovers were unforced turnovers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is something usually we'd have Phil go ahead and give us with the facts man. But I think I got this one right. So 6 of his 7 turnovers were unforced errors.
But the whole thing was to attack him, right? What did I say? He's a guy you can get to turn over the puck. Not Hedman, but Sergachev. And it played out here today. Keep out of the freaking penalty box, Croc Nelson. That's the stupidest penalty I've seen all year. Absolutely the worst. Absolutely the worst. Let me tell you something. If that was Matt Barzal, I bet you Barry would have already benched him for the next game. But not Croc. I bet he don't even talk about it post-press conference. I'd be interested to see if he does. Because we had them done. They had no life. None. And he comes and takes a penalty he didn't need to take. Really didn't. He gets the stick up on Kucherov. Yeah, Kucherov sold it. But here's the thing. The puck was already out of the zone, and he got the stick up on it. It was dumb. And now they're invigorated. I mean, Tampa Bay woke up after that. Absolutely woke up. I mean, I'm lucky there wasn't another 10 seconds on the clock. I was really that concerned. Number 2, stay out of the box, right? And the third one, slow the game down. Play Islanders hockey. And we did that today. That's why we won. Those are the 3 key elements. And the fact, I'm going to say it again, one more time. We play as a full unit. Everyone plays for everyone on that team. No passengers. Absolutely no passengers on that team. That's why we're being assessed. I mean, if you would have told me that if we had played like this in the regular season, I wouldn't say the Islanders in 11. Probably wouldn't the Islanders in 7. But I'm saying Islanders in 11 because it seems to bring us luck. But we are at another level right now from where we were in the regular season. I think anyone can agree with that.
Yes, we are definitely at a different level. We've kicked it up. We talked about it, right? We hit it into the next gear when we played the Penguins, and it's almost like we ascended into that second gear above that when we played the Boston Bruins. And got to be bullish on the Islanders right now. They looked dominant out there. Varlamov had an excellent game. Another thing, I want to backtrack it a little bit. You said, what would Barry Trotz have done if Matt Barzal took that penalty? and took that, high sticking penalty there, questionable call there. Brock Nelson, honestly, I thought was kind of weak for the time period when it was called at. I mean, the rest, for the most part, the entire third period had put their whistles in their pockets. I mean, there was a blatant trip. I think it was on Barzal or Bailey, or, I can't remember who it was from Tampa, slides his stick right between the legs there, and it's a blatant trip, no call. They didn't call anything, and they call that, yeah, you're right. It was a sell job. Awful. They call that as a penalty. You had to know, right? On a 6-on-4, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who were averaging a little over 40% on the power play, were bound to put one into the net, and sure enough, they did. John Cooper benched Steven Stamkos after that bad turnover that led to the Matt Barzal goal. Just let that sink in. Mm-hmm. Shocked. They sat him for the equivalence of almost like 10 minutes. He went back out there towards the end of the second period there when they got in the power play, but holy crap, they benched Steven Stamkos. And I remember calling you up at the end of the second period. I said, this Tampa Bay team does not look like they're mentally there. Hedman, sending the puck down the ice there at the end of the period in frustration. Stamkos just standing there or sitting on the bench with his head kind of hung, just looked red-faced and just upset with himself. The team did not look like they were on the same page game one. It did not look like the same Tampa team we had played last year. And again, I've told you this. I think this year is different. I think this Islanders team is ready for this playoff series. They're confident in themselves. I know they're confident last year, but we outshot the Tampa Bay Lightning away, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Two things. I think Tampa Bay is not taking the Islanders seriously, like Boston didn't take the Islanders seriously, like Pittsburgh didn't take the Islanders seriously. That's what I think is happening right now. Is that going to continue? I don't think so. I think you're going to see Tampa's going to come out with their hair on fire Tuesday night. I don't think there's any doubt about it. To me, the fact that they woke up, I mean, just to show you, they just flipped the switch like that at the end of the game. They finally woke up. I think the second goal, when Vasilevskiy let that Wiki in, I thought their attitude in the last 3 minutes of the game really picked up. I thought they were playing dead. I didn't think they cared. But, you listen to the guys on NBC, and they're like, well, Jonesy and Sharpie, do you guys think that is because of the extended break? Why they didn't play as well? And I'm like, okay, so what? They had 18 hours more rest than the Islanders, and that was the difference in the game. Jones has been ripping the Islanders the whole time. He can't help himself, being a former Philadelphia Flyer. Can't help himself. But what happens today, right? People are going to have to start giving the Islanders credit, don't you think? That's what whoever the talking head was. I don't know, Mr. Glasses. He says, and Jonesy's like, yeah. Because, they were the underdog to Pittsburgh. They were the underdog. I don't think they're the underdogs anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, pump your brakes. It's like, okay, so what are you trying to realize the Islanders are good now? After 2 rounds in a game, now you're going to have to change your narrative? I just don't know what they think. And Sharpie was just over there like this the whole time.
Patrick Sharp, he's got the pretty boy smile.
He's pretty. He's a pretty boy. He is. He doesn't have anything to bring. I mean, but he smiles. He's got a good smile.
I think he's really, really smart hockey mind. I like Patrick Sharp in that role.
But he doesn't say anything. Bring me Milbury. Bring me Roenick. Bring me Barry Melrose.
Barry Melrose. When you say that he doesn't bring anything, you just mean that he's not a bombastic individual who takes, very, very hot takes. He doesn't have hot takes like some of the other NHL announcers there, is what you're saying.
If he was an over-the-counter drug, he'd be melatonin. It helps. That's a drug that helps you go to sleep at night. Yeah. That's what he'd be. Jonesy isn't much better. Keith Jones. Jeez. I mean, they're. Why do we watch them? Why do we watch the intermission show? There's no reason.
Yeah, well, I want to go ahead and cut away from that, Grump, and I want to start talking about a little more Islanders-related news. I wanted to, I guess, wrap up here the Boston series. There's one more item that I think is important, worth mentioning. Tuukka Rask had surgery on his hip labrum, I believe it was, and he is going to be out, they project, until at least January of next year. So, that's at least worth noting there. I know we all were giving Bruce Cassidy a hard time, making every which excuse humanly possible. But Tuukka Rask will be out until at least January are the projections. And you talk about a guy who is an unrestricted free agent, I believe 33, 34 years old. Going to be, I'm sure he's going to be hit in the pocket after that injury.
Yep, 34 years old. He might not be back with Boston. I don't know, but that explains, right? What are we talking about? His movement. His movement didn't look good. I thought maybe it was a back injury, which he had all year also, but it was the torn labrum in the hip, and that's a tough injury for a goaltender. It just is. But then it makes you wonder, why didn't they play Swayman at least earlier in the series?
Well, remember I told you they didn't know, I think, what was going to happen there regarding throwing him to the Wolves. I think that was what it was. They were timid. They were afraid. Well, needless to say, he's going to be thrown to the Wolves next year. He's going to get the lion's share of starts, at least early on. Neither here nor there. I just wanted to give that quick little update and tidbit because this is not a Boston Bruins podcast, This is a New York Islanders podcast. That being said, I think Varlamov had an excellent game tonight. You know, we have been critical of Varlamov when he has those very routine saves that he lets trickle through his net. He was everything that I expect Varlamov to be and want him to be. He was outstanding tonight. And the funny thing is, you know, Vasilevsky is a netminder who let in a very routine and easy savable shot to Ryan Pulock. Holy crap.
Even the Barzal goal, it seemed like he was expecting something else. He was expecting another move from Barzal. And credit to Matt for just going 5-hole on him. But you can't let in that Pulock shot. I'm sorry. I mean, first of all, kudos to Ryan Pulock. What did he do today that he hasn't done all year? He actually put a shot on net. Imagine when he put shots on net, good things happen. He wasn't hitting the glass, wasn't hitting the boards, didn't hit the guy, the organist. I mean, he wasn't doing that today. He actually put a shot on net. That said, Vasilevsky's got to save that shot.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, right? Ryan Pulock had 2 goals in the regular season all season long. This playoffs has 3 goals. And look at this stat here. Ryan Pulock has scored 3 game-winning goals in the 2021 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Only 4 defensemen in NHL history have more in a single postseason. Slava Voinov there for the Kings. You've got Brian Leetch, Hall of Famer. Al McInnes. Al McInnes in the Hall of Fame, right, Grump?
I believe so.
And then Paul Coffey, another Hall of Famer. Pretty good company to keep there for Ryan Pulock.
I'm going to say one other thing about that stat. Just looking at it, I haven't seen it. All those defensemen, they won the cup that year. Voinov was with the Kings.
Yep.
Leach was with the Rangers in '94. I know they won. Paul Coffey, yeah, I know he won in '85 against us. And Al McInnes, I believe that's the year that Calgary won their one and only cup. That's the only one I'm not 100% sure on, but I believe that's the year they won the cup was in '89.
Yeah, grumpy old man. Yep, that Stanley Cup Finals there. I'm pulling it up. Yep, that was the year where the Flames won their only Stanley Cup. That's correct, Grumpy.
There you go. See, look at that. Going in the Wayback Machine, just punching up the figures up there. I know all those guys won that cup. So maybe if Ryan Pulock scores one more game-winning goal, we are destined to win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, goodness gracious. I love it, right? I mean, like, the guy had struggled to put the puck on net all season long. And, you know, given one of those 3 goals that he has as a game-winning goal this year was a shot that was well off target that wound up trickling its way into the net, was redirected into the net. But, hey, put the puck on net and good things happen, ladies and gentlemen. I kind of want to start showing some of these highlights and clips, Grumpy Old Man, because, man, oh, man, that Josh Bailey move, and that I really thought he was going to be able to finish and cap that off. That was an outstanding chance and opportunity, Grumpy Old Man. It was so close as well, just off the crossbar. He had Vasilevsky beat.
He did, but then you know what he did? He remembered he was Josh Bailey. So it's like, what should I do? Oh, clank. He probably wanted to pass out from there. He saw Beauvillier skating down the side. He was hoping to bang it off the crossbar right over to Beauvillier to put it in. He missed. He missed that. He's got to put that in the net because he had him beat. He absolutely did.
Okay, we could say it was an excellent job. You see sometimes elite level players miss shots like that. We know Josh Bailey, probably
Is
not.
not elite.
He's a hell of a playoff performer, though. We will definitely say that. He's done his job. He's been outstanding this playoffs. And again, guys, for those of you who are new to the podcast in the live stream, we do have live callers where you guys have a chance to call on myself and the grumpy old mans on the weekends. So we're gonna open up the phone lines here soon. But again, hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. We will open up the phone lines of. Oh yes, Grumpy.
One thing, because not everything is perfect in Islander land right now. What can we improve on besides our zone entries on power plays? Getting the puck down low. We need to make sure that we get that puck when we're entering the zone. We can't, and you saw Zajac do it today. Just kind of halfway it. Let's get that puck deep. Get it deep. I mean, every time you don't, they're coming back the other way. If you get them deep and make them go the full 200 feet, you have a much better chance of defending. And I'm not criticizing our defending that I thought was excellent. I thought Scott Mayfield, again, was fantastic. Adam Pelech has set himself apart in these playoffs, without a doubt. I thought Pulak looked better than he has defensively, but I still think he's injured out there. Noah Dobson needs to have a little bit more edge to his game, in my opinion.
I've got a few things to mention about Noah Dobson. I think this is going to be crucially important. I think we will be scored on this at least once this series. I would be shocked if not. You saw on the power play, Tampa had a few chances to score a shorthanded goal. It's funny, right? We haven't played Tampa in a while, and you forget that on the penalty kill, when they have the puck, you usually see one of those Tampa Bay Lightning players drift up the ice. They slip in behind Noah Dobson like they did today, and they try to connect on a huge long pass to get a breakaway opportunity. I think they scored on it last year in the NHL playoffs against us in a very similar situation and scenario. And I saw one of those passes, and I was like, holy crap, Noah Dobson. I got a flashback. It's almost like PTSD. I got a flashback right there. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I had totally forgotten that Tampa usually does that in order to spring that kind of counterattack. And we saw a few of those. Yeah, Noah Dobson, to mention about the physicality aspect, he's got a big body. I'd love to see him utilize it to punish other players out there on the ice. One thing also to mention, nobody really tries to check Victor Hedman out there on the ice. I don't know if you've noticed that, but nobody tries to throw their body at Victor Hedman. All the other defensemen there for the Tampa Bay Lightning are kind of looking, turning their shoulder. Hedman kind of feels confident that nobody's going to go ahead and try to, throw a body check on him when he's got the puck like that in the corners.
You don't want to know why? Because he makes you pay for it when you do. He's okay. I'm not going to say that he'll never commit a turnover, but he's almost turnover proof. That's why I said going into the series, don't waste your time running Victor Hedman. He's too good back there. But you can key on their other guys, Sergachev in particular, because you can make him turn the puck over. And it happened today. The grumpy old man is always right. Always. Not sometimes, always.
Oh, good. Don't even get me started on that, Grump, because you're not always right.
But I do want to say one thing. You said the chances coming back the other way when we were on the power play, those were early on when we kept on, instead of dumping the puck, dumping and chasing, and then we did it afterwards. Dumping and chasing, we're trying to just walk it in over the line, and they turned it over, and they're real good at that. It took us 3 times, Barzell, Bailey, and then Nelson, before Barzell finally flipped it. And then, maybe the light switch went on for the coaches. Say, hey, let's dump it in every time. Because you know what? That's our game anyway. I thought Cal Clutterbuck played extremely well. I thought J.G. Pajot was outstanding today, particularly the end of the power play that went into the third period. I thought he was fantastic coming out in the third period, killing off the rest of that penalty. He was fantastic. He is a classic old-time Islander player.
And he, again, as we've mentioned before, excellent addition by Lou Lamoriello last year at the trade deadline.
And I just want to let you know, you see I'm wearing this Oakland. Why aren't you wearing Islander stuff? Well, because this has meaning. This is an Oakland A's jersey, and it's a Reggie Jackson jersey. And when Reggie Jackson played for the New York Yankees, he was number 44, and J.G. Pajot is the greatest number 44 in New York sports history since Reggie Jackson.
Oh, there you go. You got that one free easy pop grumpy old man.
That's what I'm here for, the cheap pop.
Oh, goodness gracious. This year does feel different though. And it's funny, right? We take game one. Now we've got home ice advantage. And again, the Islanders, for those of you who are fans, you watched all the games this year, you'll know they were outstanding this year at home. Funny thing about the first two playoff series we've had, we split with both Boston and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we lost that first home game thereafter. And then we'd win game 4, 5, and 6. So this is obviously a little different. We're straying from the narrative of the first two playoff series we've had so far. But next game for the Islanders is going to be Tuesday. Another game away. We got home ice advantage. That is huge, though, grumpy old man.
I felt we had to win today. I thought if we were going to win the series, we had to win today. Get up on them. You don't want to be playing from behind against Tampa. Get up on them. I thought we played today was the perfect game for us, the way we played. We played Islander hockey. We withstood the early part of the game. I thought Varlamov looked a little bit shaky early on. I thought his positioning, he was overcommitting again. He was too deep in the net. Didn't cost us. But I thought he fought off a couple of saves that he should have made easily, but he grew into the game. And right, isn't that, if he's not giving up a shot in the first minute, we're usually pretty good. And today that was certainly the case. And you cannot blame him on point shot at the end. No. That was just a nice shot from in close by Braden Point.
I thought he had an excellent game. And that's exactly what I want. As we mentioned before, it's always a good problem. And there's no dispute right now, right? You're riding the hot goalie. Varlamov's the hot goalie. Just continue to roll them out there. But it's always good when you have two outstanding goalies where you even have a debate. You even can ponder about who to roll out there in that because both goalies are so good and they both foot the bill so well.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's a good problem to have. You hear that noise, TJ?
Yeah, I did.
See your face. That's the warden wandering around. Because she said she wasn't going to come down here during the podcast, but she does anyway. And she says, well, I'm going to go a different direction. But here she is squeaking doors, rattling cages over there. I mean, she doesn't realize, as a true semi-professional like myself, these things are distractions. I try to inform her, but she doesn't listen to me. Obviously.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy. The warden puts up with a lot of your stuff. I can only imagine, Grump.
Yeah. I mean, I run the show around here.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, you mentioned the keys to winning this series and the keys to winning games. They ran Sergachev. Sergachev had a whole bunch of unforced errors. For the most part, our penalty kill did a really good job. I know, obviously, with the 6-on-4, we didn't have the same result. But, we for the most part, were able to stay out of the box. Tampa was making a lot of foolish mistakes today, not only in regards to penalties committed, but also in regards to turnovers there and poor passing options. And the Islanders were able to go ahead and make them count. The Islanders were able to make those opportunities count in favor of them.
Isn't that what we do? Isn't that the way we win games? Capitalizing other teams' mistakes, not like we're going to drive play. Certainly not in this series. And as far as I'm concerned, I'd have it no other way at this point in time. Right off the bat, what happens, right? Matt Martin says, you know what, we're not going to back down from you guys. Right off the opening faceoff. 2 men go down. No problem. Was that game really physical today? Did you think that game was as physical as any that was any in the Boston series?
The answer to that question is funny. I made a tweet 5 or 6 minutes into the first period. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be a huge and physical series. This is when Boston looked – I remember calling you up too. I said, man, Boston looks big. They look physical and they look fast the first 5 or so minutes. And it's like they faded and had nothing else left. I mean, you can attribute that to anything. But I really thought it was going to be a physical series. To answer your question, no, it was not a very physical game as a whole today.
That's because that's not Tampa's style. That is not that are their style. They have some guys where if we try to muck it up and get physical with them, they can match that a little bit. But if that's not how they want to play, and that benefits us, I feel. Today, I thought we had controlled physicality, if you know what I mean. Not reckless hits, not running guys through boards, finishing our checks. Just solid hockey. And Sergachev was looking over his head. We weren't running Sergachev. We were finishing our checks on him. And it benefited us. And I think you're going to continue to see that. If we continue to play structure, we're going to be okay in the series. Now, early on, I'm looking at Matt Barzal. I mean, he wasn't even attacking. He was playing more of a defensive game. You know how much that drives me crazy, just absolutely crazy. But certainly for the majority of the first period, he was playing like a fourth-line center. I think that's wasting his talent, but we did win today. And one moment of magic from him on just a dump in from my pal Josh Bailey led to the 1-0 lead.
Well, it's more than one moment of magic. He had quite a few opportunities and chances where he looked spectacular today. Again, those individual moments of brilliance, I think, showcase that this guy will be a star one day in the league. We've talked about it before. If he played on other teams, he already would be a star. The system we play is not a system where we're going to have a boatload of individuals averaging more than a point a game. So, excellent. We have him. Excellent performance there by him today. And they talked about it here. Ever since that Boston series, it's like he's gone ahead and kicked it up into another gear as well. He's got 4 goals over that 5-game span and 2 assists also. And it looks like he has elevated his game. You talk about the core and the nucleus. Who do you have on your team that are big game players? I'll tell you one thing. Matt Barzal's always struck me as a big game player, and he certainly is.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's also another part of the NBC suits. Islanders are winning games here. Who are we going to push on this team? Are you really going to push Adam Pelech as the face of the Islanders or Varlamov? No, you're going to push Matt Barzal. And he's lived up to it. They did say that he struggled in the Pittsburgh series. I thought that was because he was, the king of the helicopter line. But what have we seen? What did we see today? I thought Jordan Eberle was involved. Leo Komarov was out of place. I thought some of our older players really looked slow today, though. Matt Martin, Komarov, and number 14.
Zajac.
Yes. I thought they both looked slow today.
I will tell you one thing, too, worth mentioning. This was the first game that, Wahlstrom was out there during pregame warmups skating. So what that tells me is he's ready to go if they needed him. But they're going to keep rolling out there with what's working. You're not going to see Zajac removed there from that line unless something catastrophic happens. They're going to continue to roll the same exact lineups we have out there. And again, if we're still winning games, you're not going to see me complain. If we start losing games, then you start looking, if we're losing games 1-0, 2-1, and we can't go ahead and generate any offense, I might be singing a different tune. But right now, again, I'm not going to complain. It's working.
Oliver Wahlstrom, unless we're getting blown out, he's not playing. He's going to ride the old guys. That's what he does. That's what Barry does. I thought it was interesting pregame. They showed Goudreau out there warming up, or maybe Maroon. And they show Ross Johnston out there stretching with his skate over the center ice line. And I'd love to see Ross Johnston play. I really would. I think it would be great. I mean, really, does Matt Martin – to me, Matt Martin just looks slow out there. He just does. He doesn't look at – I think he's easily replaceable by Ross Johnston. I'm not saying we need him, but I just like Ross Johnston. I want to see him go out there and kick some butt. I just do.
Oh, goodness.
Here's the thing, people. We're not sweeping Tampa Bay. I'm just going to tell you we're not sweeping Tampa Bay.
You said we're not going to sweep Tampa Bay. What the hell's wrong with you, Grump? You don't think
we're not sweeping them? But I will say the magic number is 7. That's what I will say.
You think it's going to take 7 games?
I just said the magic number is 7. Anyone, you should know what the magic number means. The fact that you don't is distressing to me. The magic number is 7. I'm going to let the people.
You're saying 7 until we win the cup. I get it. I'm just saying. I get what you're saying. Hey, you're 7 till the cup. My thing is this: if I'm thinking here, the series, I don't think the series is going 7 games. I think Tampa comes and they win game 2. I'll be completely upright and honest here with you guys. I think they come out on fire. I think it's a close game. I think they win. If they want any chance in this series, Tampa has to win game 2. They cannot go to the Coliseum down 2-0 in the series. If they do, they might as well just go ahead and mail it in, take out the golf clubs. They're done. They have to win game 2 if they want any chance in this series.
Yeah, you go down 2-0 at home, you're done. Now, that's anybody. That's anybody. I think you're going to see a different Tampa team come Tuesday. And early in the game, Tampa did look bigger, faster, stronger than us. And then, like I said, it all started with that dump in by Barzal on the power play. That's what everything changed from there.
Well, I've got two more topics before we're going to go ahead and start fielding there some phone calls and start rifling through some comments. I want to talk first off about Dougie Hamilton's comments because we didn't get a chance to mention those since the last podcast. He obviously was a little salty about, the exit to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And he said, we had an outstanding season, lost to a team that's $18 million over the cap. Grumpy old man, what are your initial reactions to that comment there by Dougie Hamilton? And it's funny, right? He tried to backtrack and said, oh, no, I wasn't trying to come at the team or how the rules are written. I'm like, why the hell would you make that comment if that wasn't the case then?
That's a loser's lament. That's all I have to say to that. Those are the rules. If you don't like the rules, change them. But those are the rules. Don't criticize somebody for using what the rules are. I mean, I have no problem with what they did. The salary cap doesn't apply when it comes to the playoffs. Most teams, if you have their two best players aren't playing all year or are missing the last 15 games of the year, they're not making the playoffs. Okay? That's not the case with Tampa because they're just that good. But, I mean, other teams benefited from that last year who had guys come back come postseason. It didn't count against the cap. Those are the rules. Stop crying about it, Doug Hamilton. I mean, you want to know why your team lost? Because you weren't freaking good enough. I mean, that's why you lost.
They do. I will tell you one thing. They do need to look into that a little bit. I'm not saying I agree with Dougie Hamilton's comments, but when you're able to write off the cap hit there because Stamkos missed the last, I believe it was 16 games of the season. And Kucherov was ruled that his rehabilitation time happened to magically coincide there with the start of the postseason. So, both those players were, not included there on the cap hit. They were able to get some additions there at the trade deadline as well to get them up against the cap. So they're a little over $18 million over the cap right now. I will tell you this much. No issue with them doing it because that's how the rules are written. I'm saying they need to look into the rules to make sure teams in the future won't be able to do that. That's all I'm saying, Grump.
Well, if a guy's not ready to play until he's ready to play, I'm sorry. I don't. Here's the thing: the salary cap in the NHL is so rigid that it doesn't bother me. It just doesn't. I don't care. I don't believe in salary caps anyway. It's just a way to keep the owners from being dumb. That's why they use it, because if you give them the option, they're going to spend all the money they can. If you have a salary cap, it limits their stupidity. That's why salary caps are put in every sport. Well, you're trying to tell me the NFL couldn't afford $400 million a year on a salary cap? Absolutely they could. They're $1 billion industry. I mean, it's a joke. It's to save owners from themselves. Look, baseball doesn't have it, right? So what do teams try to do? Oh, they have this luxury tax thing. Does that stop the teams who really want to from going over the top of that? Nope. It's all about keeping the owners in check to make sure that they're not as stupid as they are.
Don't disagree, grumpy old man. I don't disagree. I thought as well, we had mentioned the Islanders have an advantage against any team they play past the divisional rounds. We've mentioned the Islanders are a team to where if you are not familiar with their style of play, and you don't play teams that are similar to their style, it's tough to get acclimated to the Islanders brand of hockey. I think we saw a little bit of that today too. I think, as I've told you, I think it's going to be easy for us, again, if we advance to the next round, to get an early edge on other teams we play. They're not used to playing, and I always call the Islanders the vampires of the NHL. They suck the life out of other teams. They play this style that they call boring style of hockey, despite leading the NHL in goals so far this year in the playoffs. They play that boring style of hockey, mundane style of hockey, where they play that collapsing style around the net. You can't really get all the pucks there to the goalie, even though you might feel like you've got a lot of possession in the offensive zone. You're not really able to get much going. You make a silly mistake, and they're able to counter, and they make you pay for it. They're the vampires of the NHL, and I think that always pays a benefit just because we are a tough style to play against if you're not familiar with the Islanders.
Yeah, and why are we so tough to play against? Because the total commitment to one another on that team. It's second to none. There is no other team in sports that I don't think that has the commitment level to every member of that team like the New York Islanders do. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think any sport, and hockey is the one sport where it's more prevalent than others. But I've never seen anything like this current Islander team, except going back to 1975. I mean, I'm talking going way, way, way back. But this team has that level of commitment to one another. It's why I fell in love with the Islanders all those years ago. The commitment, the blue-collar work ethic. I mean, you look at the Islander community. We're not all living in Manhattan, living in high rises. No, most everybody works 9 to 5, right? Working blue-collar jobs. We're not a white-collar team. We're not the frickin' Rangers. We're the New York Islanders. There's a difference. That's our fan base. That's our team. That's why I love that team, honestly. I always have.
Absolutely, grumpy old man. Well, Grumpy, we're going to open the phone lines up. So again, if you guys want to call in, the top left portion is going to have that telephone number where you can call in there, talk to myself and the grumpy old man, make some comments about the game, make some comments to me and Grump. We've got the phone lines open. We are jumping right back there to the comments. Joe C, they're saying, I'm telling you, the neutral zone is where we win this series.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we played it to a T today. We really did. I mean, and also we need to get the puck in deep. When we do a dump and chase game, make them work. You can't give them. You don't want to turn the puck over where they can use their speed and that transition game. That's the one thing you don't want to do. Zajac did it today, almost cost us. A couple other guys did it. It's like, man, we got to get the puck deep, particularly on the power play.
Absolutely. Hey, you're live here with TJ and the grumpy old man. Who do we have calling in?
What's up, boys? D-Cut, how's it going?
What's up, D-Cut? How are you, my friend?
All right, listen to me, D-Cut. I got to say something to you right now. TJ got one of his minions. Phil Fax was the first call last podcast we had a call in. And it was terrible. I was waiting for you, D-Cut, from Isles Misery, rated R.
Thanks, Grump. I was at the game. I was celebrating at the game. I actually, for the first time, met Frankie Kaplan. And I wanted to spell some rumors that hair is not frizzy. Great guy. But that's the reason I couldn't call in. We were putting back some beers, having some burgers, a little post-game tailgate with even with the Drive for Five boys, Bassy and the guys. So sorry I couldn't call in. But I did join you when I got home, got in for the last couple of beers.
Well, that had to be tough. That had to be tough for you sitting with those guys, even post-game. It had to be difficult.
Yeah, it was rough, but I withstood it, and I lived to fight another day.
There you go, wonderful.
There you go. A couple of things, and great show as always. I'll let you guys go. First thing, haven't given up an even straight goal in over 120 minutes. To me, the big thing is Letty has stepped up his game the last 2 games. He's really playing solid. He was awful the first 10 games of these playoffs, but 10 or 11 games. But the last 2 games, he's been really, really good. Second thing, and again, I'll let you go, is to me, Tampa looked disinterested today. I think they thought they were going to come in, roll over us, and I expect them to come out like with their hair on fire next game. So buckle up. It's going to be a little crazy the first 10 minutes. I don't expect us to win next game, but you never know. Game 3 is going to be wild at the College. Thanks, boys. Speak to you hopefully. Actually, next Saturday I'll be at the game, so I'll try to call you after the game.
All right, wonderful.
I'm a little intoxicated, but
that's okay. That's okay. It's better than talking to Phil because him and TJ are like in cahoots against me. You know how that works.
Yeah, goodness.
Oh, trust me, I know. And Phil seems like a decent guy, but he could put you to sleep on a Saturday night.
Oh, there you go.
All right, boys.
Thanks so much.
Be well, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. Just to touch on D-Cut's 2 comments. The first one, yes, Nick Leddy. We mentioned it last podcast. He absolutely did un-Nick Leddy things, selling out the body to block shots. Outstanding defensively. I thought he did a great job. I thought he was good again tonight, honestly. And then the first one is, I think that Tampa Bay had the same approach to the Islanders that Boston and Pittsburgh did. We're better than you. We're just going to walk over you.
And again, that is the worst approach to take against the New York Islanders. They keep on getting overlooked and overlooked and overlooked. And, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. I do expect, the first 10 minutes to be hell and chaos against the Lightning. If we can come out of game 2, where it's a 0-0 tie at the end of the first period, I will consider that a win. I don't care what it looks like. I will consider that a win, Grumpy Old Man.
Okay. I mean, I just think we need to just play our game. If we play, remember, even last year when we played Tampa during the regular season, we were beating them 1-0 or losing 1-0. They weren't blowing us out. We play a style that can frustrate them. My concern is they're fully loaded, everyone's healthy, and they're better than last year, and now they know how to win. But we have certainly upped our level, without a doubt. Kudos to Barry Trotz. Everybody's bought in, and I'm saying it's not this year's coaching job, as I said last podcast. It's 2 years ago and last year, and you're seeing it all. It just builds upon itself, and the way the team plays for one another. It's not to be underappreciated. It really isn't.
Absolutely, Grumpy Old Man. We're having some issues here trying to patch this one in. Give me 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen. Should be pulling us through here. You're going to have to give me a second, though, bro.
That's okay, because then I could just go on a wild tangent riff like I love to do.
Jesus Christ. I hate when he does that. I'm like,
I know.
I hate when you Grump. There's like, don't even get me started, Grump. You're going to for a long one today.
Why don't you just pop up?
You're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Brian P. What's up, fellas?
What's up, Brian P?
Yeah, I like to follow D Cut. He's our leadoff hitter, so like to bat second. Big win tonight, guys. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It is only one game, so this Tampa Bay team, I think, is really going to come out with their best effort in game 2. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Grump. I think Grump and I are in complete agreement. I mean, this is going to be depending on how long we're able to withstand, the full-on attack that they're going to have. To start game 2 will really bode well for what the game looks like as a whole. It would not shock me at all if we lose game 2. I kind of expect that. If we win game 2, Tampa loses. They lose the series. They can't go to the Coliseum down 2-0.
Yeah,
agreed.
And I'll piggyback on that a little bit, saying I thought they started the game playing really well and had some intensity, but then they just went to sleep. And then the last 3 minutes, they just picked up their game, and they were Tampa, and they were all over us. And I'm going to say again, we cannot go into the penalty box. We have to be the New York Saints.
No. Oh.
I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead and respond to that too, Grump. You said that at the last few minutes, it looks like Tampa kicked it up. I'm going to disagree with you big time there. I thought we did an excellent job the last 10 minutes of the game, pinning Tampa in their own zone, and we controlled the neutral zone for that entire time period. You said it earlier, but you said a whole bunch of other things. I wanted to go ahead and confront that point, Grump. I thought we did an excellent job at the end of the game. They had no chances, really, until that penalty arose. They were completely they had a few chances when they had a goalie pulled, but they never really got any actual shots on net. It wasn't until they pulled that goalie they really feel like they had a chance to score. I remember telling Paige that they're going to score. They pulled the goalie. I knew they were going to score.
They just looked off today. Like their passes were a little bit off. Their game just looked a little bit off today. I would expect a return to a much better game in game 2.
Yeah, 100% agreement.
Yeah, absolutely, Grump. Absolutely, guys. Brian P. Last words, my friend. What else you got for us here today?
Quick movie quote for Grump. This is where the law stops, and I start.
Oh man, there you go. That's old Sly. That's Sylvester Stallone. Yes, it is.
Cabretti, baby.
That's right, Marion Cabretti.
I was about to say,
that pizza. How about eating that pizza? How old was that pizza in that refrigerator? I know it had mold on it.
Oh. Brigitte still drowning her fries in ketchup.
Oh man, she used to be hot though. Come on, let's not sell her short.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah, she was, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
Goodness gracious. Well, thanks for the call there, Brian P. We appreciate it as always, my friend.
All right. Love you guys.
Thank you. Absolutely. There, Grump. I was about to say, I thought that was Clint Eastwood. I thought it was a Clint Eastwood quote. I don't know, Grump. You know,
Cobra.
You buff?
Cobra.
Oh, was that Cobra? Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, goodness. A callback to the last podcast. Rusty Spooner there and saying, yes. Let's go Islanders. Took one in Tampa. Let's blank them at the barn. Hell yeah. Let's go Islanders.
Yeah. I mean, right. What's the one thing? You're the road team. What do you want to do? You got to take one of the first two. Now, everything else is gravy. We win game 2. We're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely we are. And then Adam S saying, what a win, for certain it was. And then the Zoo Band saying, big win tonight, fellas. Let's go Islanders.
Yes, sir. Ready to go.
Absolutely there, grumpy old man. Rusty Spooner saying, Letty needs to go after the season. He's clueless sometimes and is nearly bit us in the ass 3 times at minimum. 100%. I'm very happy. But where and why the F don't you have Wallstrom in?
Okay, I'll tackle that. I think Letty does need to go after this year. If you could potentially trade him and get some assets back would be great. I know that Barry loves him, but, sometime, hey, we got to free up some money. Just have to do it. And I think he's played well the last 2 games. I think he's struggled most of the year, even with the points he had, but I didn't think he was very good defensively. But Scott Mayfield's really stepped up in the playoffs, and Nick Leddy stepped up the last 2 games. And Wallstrom's not going to play because he's just too young, and we have some new geezer that we can put out there in Travis Zajac.
Yeah, I will tell you this here. Scott Mayfield has stepped up in the biggest way this year in the playoffs. I think there's no other player who's stepped up more than Scott Mayfield.
How do you not protect him in the expansion draft? I don't think there's any way you can't. That's how good he's been.
Really?
Who are the 2 best defensemen in the playoffs? I don't think it's even close.
Here's the thing I always worry about. Look back at last year's comments against Tampa. Barry Trotz said, Varlamov was the best player on the ice by a country mile. The next closest was Nick Leddy. It wasn't even close. So if that just tells you what he thinks and values Nick Leddy at, that should do the speaking, Grump.
I don't care what he thinks. I know what my eyes show me. It's been Mayfield and Pelech. They're the 2 best defensemen we have on this team right now. It's not even close for 3rd. Country mile, interstellar mile, city miles, doesn't matter.
Hey, you're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Jerry Springer, the former mayor of Cincinnati.
What is up, Jerry Springer? How's it going? How is handling those duties?
What's that? Oh, it's so. I mean, it's all right, man. I'm retired now. I got a show called Judge Jerry, so it's not the regular show anymore. We got different programs up and running. But yeah, Jerry Springer's not my first real first name, fake last name. But I wanted to let you guys know I was at the game today in Tampa. Have you guys ever been to that arena, the Amalie, whatever it's called? You guys ever been there?
No,
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, as far as like it's technologically advanced, all that good stuff. We got in pretty quickly, but it was the energy, man, there from the fans was not like it is in New York at all, dude. These guys were, oh man, it was kind of sad, almost pathetic. I mean, like you go to a game, especially a playoff game at the barn, it's just people are screaming their heads off the whole time.
Yeah.
Not that it was like quiet in there, but it wasn't like the atmosphere back home at all. It's definitely way more aggressive, up by us, the Coliseum. But yeah, I thought it was a really good game today. We gave them a couple of shorthanded chances. We had to give them a 6-on-4 for them to even score a goal. I was hoping Varlamov would get the shutout there, but yeah, no, I was expecting the Tampa Bay Lightning fans to be a lot more aggressive than they were. When I went out in all my Islanders gear today, I thought someone's gonna throw a beer on me or something, but none of that.
I will tell you this too,
yeah, there happened. We had a lot of Islanders chants going on, man.
we were surprisingly loud, and yeah, I mean, it was there was more Islanders fans than I expected, and
I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in, Jerry. Now you mentioned that I thought the same exact thing in the third period. Again, albeit they were down 2-0, but there was nothing. The crowd was not saying, there were no chants, there was no energy, there was no enthusiasm, there was no power. There was nothing out there in the crowd. And even you look back in the second period, I mean, it was a pretty docile crowd. To think about how much of a dominant team the Tampa Bay Lightning have, their fans, it leaves something to be desired, I think.
Well, for me,
they weren't really aggressive at all. I mean, I've seen fist fights break out at the Coliseum that, like, you know, if you're a drunk white male in a sports jersey, I guess you just get away with felony assault at the Coliseum or the Garden, because I've seen people with like bleeding faces and getting thrown off the railings and stuff, and it was a very, you know, not very high energy. The first like few minutes when they came out, everybody was cheering, but I mean, like, there was definitely points of the game where I was hearing "Let's Go Islanders," you know, louder than "Let's Go Lightning," and I thought that was pretty impressive.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll say that the fans in Tampa are not the same as Philadelphia or
there's
the Garden.
no batteries. There's no batteries being thrown at any opposing fans. They're not going ahead and jumping somebody for the way he goes ahead and unbuttons his zipper or unbuttons his button in the bathroom stall. Yeah, I don't think they have as much vigor and as much vitriol as some of the other fan bases do.
Well, they live at the beach.
Yeah.
You know, you see these guys living at the beach.
Overall, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been down here. I've been in Florida for about 4 months now. I'm in Sarasota. You know, I grew up on Long Island. Obviously, I lived there my whole life. I'm from Belmore over there, exit 25 South. And yeah, I've been down here in Florida for a few months. It's weird down here, man. I don't really like it. I kind of want to go home, but you know, work related stuff. But yeah, a lot of crazies down here, man. Stuff you see down here that you'd never dream of seeing in New York, and it's wild.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be. I don't think I'm going to be at game 2, but I plan to hopefully be at game 5 if it goes that. You know, hopefully we can just sweep them. I mean, that'd be great, but.
Gotcha. Well, absolutely. Thank you there, Jerry Springer, the former mayor of Cincinnati, for calling in, my friend. Thank you there, Jerry. We do appreciate it as always.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, Grump, it's funny, right? He mentions a few things to unpack about that. How the people in Florida are just completely different. He's not wrong there. I love always reading, you know, the news clippings of, you know, crazy Florida man does XYZ. They always keep me laughing with a smile on my face, Grump.
Well, it's just a different lifestyle. You live up in New York, it's different than pretty much anywhere else in the country, honestly. Much more laid back down in Florida. I know when I moved out of New York, it was much more laid back lifestyle where I live now. And, you know, the fans, well, you know, they have a lot of other things they can do in Florida. So, you know, kind of is what it is. And you don't have to worry about getting assaulted in Tampa. That's for sure.
And yeah, guys, if you guys were calling in, I apologize for having to hang up there on you guys. If you call back, we just had a caller in. But moving right along there to the comments, Rody the Riff said, "Let's go." We got a few "Here we go" there by the Zoo Van. And then Owen Johnson says, "Let's go Islanders." What did I tell you, Grump?
I don't remember what he told me.
He said the Islanders are going to win. The Islanders are going to win in 6. I think he's 6 or 5. He said the Islanders are going to take game 1, 2, if I believe, Owen. We're taking it back there to the last podcast, but I'm trying to remember.
I know he was very bullish on the Islanders. I will say that.
Yeah, for certain. Rusty Spooner also saying, "Hell yeah, TJ and the grumpy old man." Alexander chiming in there saying, "I'll tell you what, if we beat Tampa, there's no doubt in my mind we will win the cup." I said that last time too. If we beat Tampa here, there is no doubt in my mind. I don't care if we're playing, you know, the Edmonton Oilers from 1985. There's no way we're not winning the cup.
And Alex has changed his picture again. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely, grumpy old man. Moving along, Hunter Howard, they're saying, "What was Tampa's fan capacity? 0%."
Yeah, but you know, you're right from the get-go. You know, I tell you, I talk about how I got emotional when Game 6, the fans were singing the national anthem, and you see they tried it in Tampa, but it just it wasn't the same.
No, for certain it wasn't. It's funny, right? I think they had the lady who sung the national anthem. She was making a few stops there on national TV. And I can only imagine. I mean, like, you watch that replay, I still get goosebumps watching that replay. It was
great. It was great. And, I was watching the Euros today a little bit earlier, and you see all those players and all those fans singing their national anthem. It's fantastic. It really is. It gives me goosebumps when I see people loving their country that much. It really does. Absolutely. You don't see that enough in this country.
You're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, it's Phil. How's it going, guys?
Hey, Phil. How are you?
Good. I know Grumpy's always excited to hear from me.
I'm waiting for some facts, Phil.
I'll try.
Let me say one thing, Phil, before I let you go. You're part of the show now, so you're free game as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, bring it, Grumpy, bring it. But listen, I mean, I guess the first thing I was going to say is off of one of your last points, where I 100% agree with Grumpy. Mayfield is going to get protected, even if he wasn't playing at the level he is right now in the playoffs. It's a pretty simple math equation. You can't have a second pair right-handed D-man who's making less than $1.5 million go for free. It's just math. They could say whatever they want about Nick Leddy. Maybe part of the reason why they were hyping Nick Leddy so much was because they were hoping to dump him instead of Taves, and maybe saying those things would help them find a buyer for a pretty tough-to-move contract. But, Grumpy, I'm going to start out first point agreeing with you 100%. They're going to be protecting Mayfield.
Very smart, Phil.
In terms of the game, I mean, here's one of the things I tweeted out before. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Last year, we had game one where we literally walked off a plane, and then 24 hours later, we were playing in a different time zone against a well-rested team and got whacked. So in terms of games where we were on equal footing with them, 3-2 Tampa. We don't have Lee, but this year we have Cizikas, which his presence was certainly felt in this game, especially defensively. Game 3 and on, I think he was out with a detached retina. We lost Pellick with a broken wrist in game 5. And this year, as opposed to having J.G. Pajot with a couple of dead corpses like Andrew Ladd, Derek Brassard, Tom Kuhnhackl, whichever strays they threw out with him during last postseason, we got the A-plus boys. We've got Grumpy's A-plus boys, and I think that's what's making all the difference over here.
I love it. Right, you bring that up. Think back on that. Last year in the playoffs, we had Derek Brassard, I think, was playing right wing. We had Andrew Ladd, as well as whoever else they threw out there on the other wing there of Pajot. Man, oh man, you think about the lineups, how well that's been there for us, and how that's changed up, Grumpy.
Yeah, last year Pajot was the king of the helicopter line. This year it's Matt Barzal.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Listen, Barzal definitely is limited in terms of what Komarov is able to bring to that line. Although he did win a really nice puck battle that helped Eberle get that puck to Pollock over there.
Yes,
I don't think it's a coincidence that the best performers here in these playoffs are the guys who are all due raises. I mean, obviously Bailey and Pajot have been playing really well too, but you got Pellick due for a pay raise, and he's playing fantastic. Beauvillier's due for a pay raise. Palmieri's due for a pay raise. I'm led to believe that Ryan Pollock, they're going to try to do his contract this summer, and he's playing even better. I mean, he's doubled his goal production in the postseason than he had in the regular season, and he's playing well. So I think there's definitely something to that incentive. And the last thing I'll say, I think it would be so huge if they could just get the win on Tuesday night and send it back home up 2-0. I mean, I think there's something to a team that is not even 8 months off a Stanley Cup win, not being full and satisfied, but on the other side, you got the Islanders. We just lost to them 8 months ago in the bubble. I think it was 8 months ago, right? 8 months ago in the bubble. The pieces that we brought in, Zajac is a person who has been to the Stanley Cup and hasn't won a Stanley Cup. Palmieri, he was on that Ducks run where they lost in 7 in the conference finals to the Blackhawks in 14-15. Pajot, this is his third conference finals in the last 5 years. He was with Ottawa when they went 7 games back in 2017. I think there's something to having one side where you have an entire team of people who have almost been there, and some of them multiple times, versus a team that's fresh off a cup win. if you're able to get it back 2-0 at home, I mean, you should be able to finish them, I would think. But again, I know Grumpy doesn't like me to stay on the phone too long, so I'm going to hang up on you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Phil was 100% right. I was getting ready to chase him off.
Stop.
We love Phil. We do.
I'll tell you one thing. That's a good point, right? You mentioned about the hunger of these athletes. As they're working, as their quest is to win a Stanley Cup. That's right. You forget there with Ottawa. Back in the day, Jean-Gabriel Pageau made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year as well there with the Islanders. And again, here we are. He's got to be hungry. I'm sure he is waiting there, for that chance and opportunity to make it to the Cup Finals, as well as Zajac and Palmieri. I think that's a good point, Grump.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm just going to disagree with Phil when he said about the contract status being why guys are playing hard. I just don't see that type of mentality in these players on this team. I think
it's fitting, of course, the guys that has to be paid are playing the best, so they're going to get paid the most, right? Well, I think it's just like irony.
Yeah, but I mean, Pageau's not that. Bailey's not that. Barzell's not that. Who cares about Palmieri and Zajac? Honestly, the two F minuses. Yeah. Nobody cares about them. But you look at Mayfield's under contract for another year. I mean, and so is Pulak. So I don't think that holds. I just think we got a bunch of high class individuals in this room, and the whole team fights for one another. That's what I think. I don't think there's any personal stuff going on with anybody on this team. I just don't. Even Letty's playing hard. He probably wants to stay here though, but I want him gone.
Oh, goodness gracious there. The Zoo Band there saying, too bad they can't have the Islanders Never Say Die logo behind the cap. No, I can definitely do that. It's one of the things that I'm like, one of the multiple things the human cliffhanger is working on. It doesn't take me long to do that, but I wanted to have it cool to where you had like a montage of the different things teaching myself and the grumpy. Wow, I talked about myself in the third person. Holy crap. Myself and the grumpy old man were doing there on video. So I'm thinking about making and rolling that out. But yeah, we could just go ahead and plop up. That won't take us too long to make that as a watermark. John P. also saying one shift, one game at a time.
That's what Al Arby used to. Hey, just play one shift. Just give me one shift. Give me one shift. Give me one shift. That's the way we play. That's the way we play. Today we played a picture perfect game. The first, like I said, I don't know what it was, 8-9 minutes. They were kind of all over us, but we fended them off. And then Barzell dumping the puck in, everything changed.
It was everything changed for that minute. Dumping that completely altered game one. I love it.
Well, okay, but what did it do? It gave us power play time. It gave us in the zone time. We had a couple of chances, and then you saw our 5-on-5 play pickup. I mean, and then we carried it till like the last 3 minutes. The last 2-3 minutes of the game, I thought Tampa took over again. But other than that, we were in control of that game.
Absolutely. And sorry, I've been hanging up on a few people who've been calling in. Remember, the telephone line is open. I don't have a way to put you guys on like call or like waiting list or anything like that.
Good job, TJ.
I do what I can, Grump. I do what I can with the limited resources. Rusty Spooner also saying the refs tried to bite us there with BS penalties, especially that last minute end of the third period that on Brock Nelson. Shaking my head, let's go Islanders. Again, I'll tell you about it. I think Kucherov sold that. He got hit right up here, not even in the neck. He got hit in the upper chest, like probably around like the collarbone area, maybe. And he goes ahead and flops down like he's been hit in the face. Oh, my face. He's checking for blood. Get the hell out of here. Stop that.
To me, he didn't need to get the stick up there. It was dumb. He didn't need to get the stick up there. The puck was already out of the zone. He doesn't need to do anything there. Nothing. I thought the one on Palmieri was weak. I thought that was a weak penalty.
Here's the thing, right? If Kucherov catches Brock Nelson in the face there with a stick, nothing gets called. And that's the issue I have with that. How the hell do you want up calling that penalty in the last 9 minutes of the game where they've been letting blatant trips, cross checks all over the board completely go? And again, like we determined to say, oh, well, that one was kind of like a hit kind of up high on a smaller player. Or you hit him kind of in the upper chest, maybe towards the collarbone. We're going to go ahead and give him a penalty for that. And you had to know, right? As soon as they pulled the goalie and they had that 6-on-4, that was going in. I'm like, there's no way in hell we're able to stop this. If we are, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I literally took the outlook, please do not let them score on this 6-on-4 early. So, when they come back on the ice with a pulled goalie, they have less time to try to score and generate a goal.
I had no problem with that penalty being called. He got the stick up on him. It was dumb. It was dumb. Don't do it. You were in total control of that game. He gets the stick up in the guy's face. It was dumb. It was unnecessary. You gave him life. And I'm yelling because, everyone knows Croc's one of my favorites, right? And and all I could think of, what would happen if Matt Barzal had done that? Well, of course, we don't see Matt Barzal at the end of the games. Did he even play in the last 5 minutes? I don't even think so.
Full stop. You were applauding Matt Barzal when they took a run at him. Somebody from Boston took a run at him. He got the stick up high, and he cross-checked the guy in the face. You were applauding Matt Barzal.
That's right. That's protecting himself. A guy's going to run at you.
I know it's different situations. I understand that. But
what are you talking about? See, you're trying to draw a comparison. There is no comparison. The Boston guy was running. Corrali was running him. He got his stick up. Don't run me, bro. That's what he said. Maybe that's what hey, don't run me, fella. No. You want to know how you make that happen? You get the stick up in his face. Guess what? That says, no, don't run me. That's what it says. Croc didn't need to do that. The puck was already out of the zone. I don't know why he did it. There's no reason. And then he tries to goad Kucherov into a penalty. And Kucherov just yeah, I'm afraid of you.
Oh, goodness.
He doesn't even know. He can't even goad a guy into a penalty.
Jeez. Paul W saying big win. Faye B they're saying yo boys, it's Jerry Springer, the former mayor of Cincinnati, just left the game. My friend's commenting on her phone because I'm driving. We dominated them tonight. They needed a 6-on-4 to score. Love to see it. Alexander also saying there, and Barry Trotz, in my opinion, has accomplished more with this team than with Nashville. He won a cup with Washington, yes, but look at how long he took him. True.
He's got a good general manager too. That helps.
I have been thinking about something. That, it's been changing my view. It really has been changing my view. And again, depending on what happens with the Islanders, at the end of the season, I have an interesting question to pose to you, grumpy old man, and to Islander fans.
Why don't you save it for the end of the year then?
No, I'm going to say we're going to save it there for the end of the year, but it's just interesting. It's been something I've been pondering over, and I think that the hypothesis I'm thinking about might be true. Grumpy old man. That's all, and okay. It's one of those that might change. It might change opinions.
Okay, there's no need for you to cliffhanger on a comment. Okay,
it's not a comment. It's a thought. It's a thought that I've had, Grumpy.
Well, keep it to yourself. Write it down on a little piece of paper and say open when the season's over, because no one, you know what? Alexander was probably all excited. Oh, he's going to say a question. He's got a question he's pondering over, and then you don't say it. I mean, come on. Don't leave people hanging on comments. There's nothing you leave them hanging on phone calls, screensavers, T-shirts. I mean, do we need to add to that list now comments?
Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, you're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Hi, man. How you doing, TJ? How you doing?
Not too bad.
Owen Johnson. What's going on?
What's up, Owen? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm hyped. Let's go, Islanders. Let's go, baby.
The Islanders.
Let's go.
That was a big game one. That's a big game one. Hey, they look different. This year feels different. It feels different, ladies and gents.
It totally feels different. I feel the electricity coming from the Coliseum and the UBS Arena, man. It's on fire in New York right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Coliseum, and this is last year. I feel like maybe that's also got a little extra motivation for everybody at those home games. But man, I'm telling you, we've got the home ice advantage now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling confident.
Hold on. What was Owen, what was your prediction in this series?
I see, to tell you the truth, Grump, I see the Islanders winning in 6. That's what I told you.
Okay,
but
I think you said 5.
You look today, the way today we look, I could see 5. They probably will get one next game too, but I feel that totally we're going to win. We're probably going to sweep them all, but I'm going to just give them one just because they're defending champions.
I love Owen. I'm going to tell you right now.
All right. Yeah, because you're always right, so I got to listen to you.
All right, Owen, I'm going to tell you what. I love you because you are a true dyed in blue and orange Islander fan. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm wearing the jersey right now. I'm wearing my right now.
I was about to say, you see us not wearing anything. You see us just wearing, hey, I'm wearing some
I'm like,
t-shirt. He's wearing Oakland Athletics.
But I love the Oakland. My father's favorite player is Reggie Jackson, and I can respect that Ricky Henderson jersey.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Reggie Jackson was my favorite player as a kid. My first favorite baseball player was Reggie Jackson. He played for Oakland. They had the colorful uniforms, the freaking white shoes, and man, he was just cool.
Yeah, my father, he loved to talk about him. But today is an Islanders day. Let's go, Islanders. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Game 3. Let's go. I feel electricity, Gump, man. Game 2, I just can't wait, man. I just want to sleep till Tuesday.
I love it. I love it. Owen, you have any other comments here, my friend?
Oh, Gump, man. TJ, man, I like what you guys are doing, man. Keep the videos going. I'm gonna keep promoting and watching the show, man. Thanks a lot, man. Let's go, Islanders.
Thank you. We love you, Owen.
There for the call in, my friend. Thank you so much. I'll tell you, maybe
he's a fan. He's a fan.
Maybe Owen's right, Crump. Do the Islanders sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning? Hey, I'll tell you this much. If we go ahead and beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, if we beat them at home as well, the chances of us sweeping them, low, but hey, right. I've seen crazier things happen, Grump.
Okay, yeah, there's been crazy things happen. I don't, hey, do I hope for it? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? I don't think so.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy old man. Yeah, I'm not sure we sweep them, but here's the thing. I tell you, I think the psyche has a lot to do with that. Phil also mentioned, hey, they won the Cup 8 months ago. The team, Tampa just looks different. They look different on the ice, and the Islanders look different than last year.
I disagree.
It's a different. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I disagree. I mean, I've been watching their games. Okay, you know what they can do? Click, 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 click. They can just turn it on and off anytime they want. That's what they've been able to do. They look sensational. They'll have some games where they are a little bit flat, and then they'll come out the next game they'll either blow you out or shut you down. I'm not resting on Tampa. I'm sorry. I still think Tampa's great. I think Tampa could have been resting on us, but now I think they know they're in a series.
Absolutely. Hey, you're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, it's Mike. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mike? How are you?
Very good, Grump. I have something you're really going to appreciate. Now, you're a Yankee fan. You're a Reggie Jackson fan, as you told me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The game that Reggie Jackson hit the 3 home runs in the World Series. You want to know where I was that day?
Being born?
Yeah.
Were you being born?
I was born in 1964. I was at Nassau Coliseum watching the New York Islanders and the LA Kings play to a 0-0 tie.
Wow.
0-0 tie. It was my first Islander game ever. Rogie Vachon was so great in that game to the Kings that the Islander fans stood up and cheered, Rogie, Rogie, Rogie. And the whole night we're seeing Reggie Jackson hit 1 home run on the scoreboard. Reggie hit another one. Reggie hit another one. But that's where I was the night Reggie hit his 3 home runs.
I did not know the Islanders played that night. I remember Rogie Vachon. That's Montreal used to make trades with teams when guys were a little bit past their peak and they'd want to trade. But everybody looked great in Montreal, and they traded Rogie Vachon, and he wasn't past his peak, but they'd get like a boatload of draft picks. And they were really, really good at that. But he was a really underrated goaltender, and he was really good for the Kings. He's one of the best goalies the Kings ever had. And they used to wear – I loved their uniforms back in the day. Oh, man, they were fantastic. Now I thought their retro jersey was good this year, but I just loved them when they were the purple and gold, and Marcel Dion played for that team. Oh, just fun times. But I remember Reggie hitting those home runs. Bert Hooton, Elias Sosa, and Charlie Huff. He had 3 home runs. I remember Howard Cosell doing the call of the game. Great times. Great times.
Well, listen, like I said, it was some memory for me, and that's why I'll never forget it. And I still have those ticket stubs, and many, many years later, when I took my girls to their first game, my 2 daughters, I sat in the same seat. I found the stubs. We bought the same 2 seats. I added one more. And anyway, talk about just things I'll never forget. That was certainly one of them. And guys, listen, I'm really enjoying this. You're doing a great job. We live in an era where I'm a little like grumpy. The technology flushes me a little bit, but it's so wonderful that, we don't get attention as a fan base as the other teams do. But now with the advent of technology, we can all tune into something like this and be together and enjoy it. And you guys are doing a great job. I really appreciate both of you. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Mark, for calling in too, and we appreciate the kind words. It's like a community. It's like a family there. As Grump and I have always said, and I know Grump's been a big supporter of that. It's like a family. It's the Islanders family here.
And I just want to comment one more thing. I got goosebumps when he said that he bought the same tickets when he and his girls went. I mean, that's a moment, as you get older, little moments like that, you remember things in your history. And I'm so happy that he had a chance to do that with his girls. That's just fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely, grumpy old man. Absolutely. Also comment there from Deidre C. They're saying great game from them. First 10 minutes, not, but then they got it going.
Yeah, it was all from the dump in. The dump in changed the game. I'm telling you right now, the dump in changed the game. Go back and watch it. It was from that dump in on.
2 minutes pessimistic. He said, dude, I'm really optimistic about this team. We neutralize them. I'm never optimistic. Ergo my name. 2 minutes of pessimistic.
Yeah. I tell you, it's hard how can you not get behind this team? How can you not get behind this team? Magic number 7. That's all I'm saying. Magic number 7. Islanders in 11. Magic number 7.
Oh, goodness. Hey, you're live here with TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. Who do we have calling in?
Rusty Splitter.
Hey, what's up, Rusty? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. What's up, TJ? What's up, Grumpy?
What's up?
Not too much. Hey, we're flying high on cloud 9.
Yeah, no doubt. Usually I'm on Grumpy's side, but today Grumpy better lay off you a little bit, TJ. Especially on my comment too. That we were right about with the penalties and everything and what was going on and what happened to Brock.
I did not have a problem with that penalty call at all. And it just gives me another reason to pick on Brock Nelson. So there you go.
I figured it's good. It was what it was, but it just scared me a little bit because they were sort of playing our game to where we could have had, 6 goals to where if it would have went up the post down instead of up, or just a miss by the pad or in between or underneath an arm, little things like that. Where I'm glad we took it tonight. And it sucks that Varley didn't get the shutout, but. The rest did their best to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'll just say that I felt we had to win today to have a shot to win the series.
Absolutely.
Particularly with the way that we played. We played so well and played our style. I thought if we would have been up 2-0 and wound up giving 2 goals up in the last minute and a half and lost in overtime, that's a crusher.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that we won.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting there when it was when I said 54 seconds, I kept on saying, 55. Let's go, boys. 55 seconds. Every second was an extra second. I'm sure everybody else was the same, or if not, 10 seconds or more, because it's like, all right, come on. It was, and we did. We corralled them, but I love it how it is, but next game is going to be certainly different. And at the barn is going to be loud, and thank God we have our stronghold there, and God bless us and everybody else. But Long Island's a different breed, and people are starting to realize and be like, oh, we forgot about we're coming back again.
We don't get
afraid of a little bit of lightning.
Yeah. I say I have one thing. I've got one quick comment. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about the people who listen to the podcast. I do this when we start getting towards the end of the game and things start getting nerve-wracking. I stand up and I have something like I'm doing something. And I'll start inching my way closer and closer towards the TV, blocking everybody else from seeing. And my wife so kindly reminds me, you're standing right in the middle of the way of the TV. I don't know how many other people do that type of stuff, but I certainly do. Anytime the game is nerve-wracking like that right at the end. Oh man. Woo. I'll tell you, it was a big sigh of relief, though, when I went ahead and sealed it off.
I mean, I guess we're all different, but I start pacing like the tiger that's kept in the cage, just like walking back and forth and just going around, just looking at it and hearing it and just like looking at it, constantly looking at the clock. Like that's it's just like, come on. Damn you refs, come on,
That's what I do. I pace, and I was certainly looking at the clock. I looked when they gave up the goal. I'm like, God, Nelson, why? But then, and then I see, then I see Adam Pelech playing wing, and then kicking back the defense on that faceoff. And we really had him hemmed in the zone to like 29 seconds to go. I'm like, okay, great. And they get in the zone. It's like, my gosh, as soon as they come in the zone, it looks like they're ready to score 3 or 4 goals. And that's what I'm worried about with Tampa.
That's the thing with me because they cycle so crazily. Like it's like how we do on defense, but they do it on offense to where, they go behind each other and they're playing like the shell game, and I don't like it. I'll be real. And that's why, like, honestly, I want Sorokin in the third game just because, you got to get him familiar with it. And they're going to goddamn Tampa, but I love tonight. I do. Like, Varmy was on his game, and it showed. There was definitely some fuse, but I liked it. It was just Letty that I was worried about, honestly. Like tonight, like he's been great, but tonight it was just like, it was like 3 times or a little bit more. It's just like, whoa.
There was only one time where I thought he got skated around. I think it was by Killorn, and it was that chance where Varlamov had to make that good-headed save. That was the only time I yelled at the TV screen there with Nick Letty. I'm like, turn your fucking hips and skate.
Was that when he got lost and he was skating? Was that when he got lost and he was skating when they were pressing against us? When he had his back turned completely and just focused on the guy inside of the puck?
It seems
and
like
we could have had it and just chipped it out.
It seems a little like a blur.
Same here, but I saw a lot of them tonight. But it's good it's a good counter, and it's I don't know if you guys heard what John said. The Lightning's coach, but. It was laughable. He's trying to say how I left it in the YouTube chat, but you guys can talk about it. But I don't know if you guys heard what he said after.
I'm gonna make sure to pull that in the post game there, and I appreciate you letting us know that, Rusty. And thank you so much for calling in. I'll tell you, this year, as I've said every single time, this year feels different.
It's different waves. Different waves, different currents, crushing on different bricks. The island, the White House is very strong. We got our light.
Absolutely.
I feel all right.
Thanks so much, Rusty, for calling in.
Love you guys.
Love you.
And congratulations to TJ, and love you, Grump.
Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate the congratulations there. Thank you so much, Rusty, there for calling in. Grumpy old man. I'll tell you, I haven't gotten the comments yet from John Cooper. I'm going to make sure to pull those, and I'll have those ready for the post game, Grumpy old man. Yeah. This year just feels a little different. Rusty Spooner also said, everyone hear the Islanders chants, and Tampa media tried to dim them out, laughing my ass off. Let's get that cup, men.
Yeah, I just feel so good about this team right now. I can't wait to go back to the Coliseum and just see the atmosphere that's going to be in there. I just think it's going to be sensational.
Absolutely, grumpy old man. And then Jonathan Michelangelo, they're saying, I'm down here in Tampa, and they're super salty right now.
I just don't think that they take us serious. I don't think anyone takes us serious. I wasn't taking us serious after how we played at the end of the year. Not serious enough to possibly contend for a Stanley Cup, possibly contend for a Stanley Cup, possibly contend for a Stanley Cup.
How many more times can you say possibly contend for a Stanley Cup?
I just want to make sure that I didn't say contend, because then I have to listen to some ridiculous diatribe. That's why I put in possibly.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is you said this team is not a Stanley Cup contender, Grump, and I'm telling you one thing. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're in the Stanley Cup. You'll have to finally concede.
Then you're a contender for the Stanley Cup. Yes.
And you know what else? I hope that Kyle Palmieri bags 15 goals in 3 games over that time period too, Grumpy old man, so you can upgrade that grade from a freaking F- to where it should be.
A C.
Stop. Oh, my goodness. William Carr there saying Coliseum will blow Tampa's atmosphere out of water. Just keep forechecking and stay disciplined, and we'll be good.
100% accurate right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mark S. there saying, hey, guys, good win. Thought it was a solid team effort. Far from over. So glad we have home ice advantage now.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to do, right? Win one of the first two. You win the first game. Now I'm greedy. I want to win game two. I think Tampa is going to come out on fire on Tuesday. I'm not expecting us to win that game. If we win that game, let's see how much testicular fortitude, as Mick Foley would say, Tampa Bay would have. I know there's no quitting us. Let's see if we can put Tampa down 2, and let's see how tough they are mentally.
Oh, goodness, grumpy old man. Moving right along there. John M. there saying Islanders show national media that they're no joke and that they belong.
True, but I still think we don't get any respect. Still, I don't think we do. I still don't see it. Good. I love playing the underdog role. You think Canada? What do you think Canada's saying right now? You think, oh, the Islanders are a threat? They're probably going, Montreal's going all the way. And nobody's saying Canada never gave us respect. Even when we were in 4 Cups, we never got respect from Canada. They couldn't wait for us to lose.
Oh, good.
Freaking Canada. I like Canada. I'm just saying.
John, what are you also saying? UBS will be state of the art and as crazy as the barn. Let's go Islanders. John M. also saying there, the Islanders forecheck was not seen by Tampa Bay this year. They were baffled, Grumpy. And that's what I said, right? The style that we play, if you're not familiar with it, we have the upper edge. And that was a point that Coach Tommy B brought up on the show early. Before the playoffs even started, we were talking about this point. It was very astute, and I can't agree with it more.
Yeah, and you're going to find out how good our conference is now and how good Tampa's conference is and how good the West was and how good the North was. You're going to find out because now that we're playing one another, we're going to find out.
Are we going to find out, Grump?
Yeah, we're going to find out. I was trying to think
we're going to find out. I promise you guys.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think of something funny, but I couldn't come up with anything. So I just repeated it. All right? You happy now?
Now you sound like me, grumpy old man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, goodness.
That's the worst thing for me.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I will go ahead and provide here. We're going to go ahead and link over there. Oh, hold on a second, Grumpy. We have a special caller calling in, grumpy old man. Some of the Islander fans know that this individual happens to call us on a pretty consistent basis. Others that are new to the podcast don't know that Grumpy Old Man and Lou Lamoriello actually know each other. They've known each other for years and years and years. And so right now, Grumpy, I'm going to link in there Lou Lamoriello to the podcast so we make sure we've got that there. Give me 1 second. Oh, man, I really would hate for me to have some technical issues here as we've got the Lou Lamoriello on the phone. Oh, man, Grump, you're going to have to forgive me there. It looks like I'm going to have a second. It's going to have to take me a second here, grumpy old man.
You know, Lou from the landline calls in periodically. He knows when to call in. I notice he usually doesn't call in when we're losing. He usually calls in when we're winning.
Well, that's been a lot lately. And Lou from the landline's on the telephone here, Grumpy.
Yeah. So do you have him now or no?
Yeah, Lou's in. Lou's patched in. How are you doing there, Lou Lamoriello? Was that clapping?
Okay.
I thought he was patting himself on the back for roster construction.
Good evening, gentlemen. Again, thank you for having me in the greatest podcast in the interwebs. I just had to remove the 3 Stanley Cup rings from the receiver.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Grump.
Lou, I have a question. When you saw Brock Nelson take that reckless high sticking penalty, what were you thinking? Were you thinking that he should be benched after that?
Well, I just want to clarify, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lou from the landline. I don't want TJ and the grumpy old man to get in legal difficulties. So this is Lou from the landline. To answer your question about Brock Nelson, my impression is that it was a ticky-tack penalty. So that's great embellishment. I think it's great embellishment by the other player.
Oh, wow. Lou, you're taking a stance. I know you usually don't do those type of things there, Lou, from the landline. I will tell you this. I have a question for you. Grumpy old man, he happened to call you out after we won the series against the Boston Bruins. He called you out, Lou Lamoriello. As you were up there in the press box all by yourself, you did not have a smile on your face. You looked like you've been there, done that. You had no reaction on your face after we beat the Boston Bruins. Grumpy old man, I know, had a few questions. He wanted to see at least a smile from you, Lou Lamoriello. Isn't that right, Grump?
Yes, that's true. I thought you should at least pulled your mask down and had a smile on your face. Maybe you didn't put your dentures in that day, but I figured I would definitely wanted to know if you in fact had a smile on, because I didn't see any cheek extensions or anything. It just looked like you were just ho-hum. I thought maybe you were in a coma. Was that the case, Lou, from the landline?
That line, put a smile on your face, sounds like the Joker from The Dark Knight. Grump, I understand your question very perfectly. Like I said, I act, there's a saying, act like you've been there before. And I've been there before once, twice, thrice.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, man, Lou came prepared. Grump, I got a question. You got a question? I'll let you end it off there for one more question from our friend there, Lou Lamoriello, grumpy old man. One more question.
So, Lou, do you feel vindicated with the Kyle Palmieri, Travis Zajac trade?
We ask him this every single round. I'm going to tell you one thing. He's got to feel vindicated, Grump, and you have to feel wrong, right?
I don't have to. I choose not to.
Well, like I said, the results are there. Just look in the score sheet.
Oh wow. See, that's the first time he's ever said, look at the score sheet. That's like trash talk from Lou from the landline.
That's trash talk from Lou from the landline, because guess what? Lou, as he gets closer and closer to the Stanley Cup Finals, he smells that blood in the water from the injured, grumpy old man. From his points, they might not be as airtight as he once thought they were. And, oh, man, he smells that blood in the water. The Lou from the landline does, Grumpy. You better watch out.
Yeah, well, you know what? He can just keep on chumming that water all he wants. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I know the real Lou from the landline. I know what he really thinks.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, man. Lou, thank you so much for calling in again, as always. Grumpy old man, he wasn't able to stump you today. Lou was on his game.
I'm too happy to try to stump him today, honestly. But he did have a couple of little comments. I got to say, he had a little bit more fight than usual. You could tell. For a man who's 77, 78 years old like that, he's showing a little bit of gumption. I got to like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, a little gumption and good memory. As I listened to the last podcast, you gave me some credit, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to call. Just to hear you, Grump, say credit goes to Lou. That's what I wanted to hear. But that's okay. Maybe next time.
That's right, Grumpy. I still have to stitch that. I still have to stitch it to where you gave Barry Trotz and Lou Lamoriello absolute and total credit. I still have to stitch that from last podcast. Don't worry, boys. I'm on that. The human cliffhanger's working on it.
I didn't realize that Lou was so needy and he needed, that type of confirmation from the grumpy old man. But I'm happy to give it to him. That's fine.
Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Lou, from the landline, for calling in today, my friend.
You're welcome, gentlemen. Have a good evening, fellas.
Thank you.
Too.
2 minutes of pessimisticking. Lou from the landline. It's great anytime we have a celebrity like Lou Lamoriello call in.
No, it's Lou from the landline. It's not Lou Lamoriello.
Lou Lamoriello from the landline. I like throwing as many L's in there as humanly possible. It makes it more of a tongue twister for myself. Challenge.
Right? L squared.
L cubed or L.
Just get to the next comment. I don't like you trying to ad lib. You're no good at it.
Oh, goodness. I love this. Every time Jerry Springer also says, nobody cares about your stupid DraftKings report, TJ. Jerry Springer.
I know. I'm just going to tell you what. Faye Baldwin is getting more run on this show than just about anybody else. And here's the thing. She has no idea who we are.
Grumpa, I'd like to go through from top to bottom, and I'm sure I'm going to lose some comments, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. We had a lot of calls in today. The comments were coming fast, hot, and heavy, ladies and gentlemen, but We're getting right back to it there. Joe C. also saying there, agreed. The Islanders are extremely structured in the neutral zone. The Lightning haven't played a team like that this season. The only team you could say is maybe the Nashville Predators. But again, I think talent-wise, we're head over heels better than the Predators are.
We're structurally better than they are, too.
We've got a better coach than the Nashville Predators do, too.
I'm going to tell you what. Vegas is really good structurally, really good. They're the only team, honestly, that's close to us structurally. I don't think anybody else is even close to has a defensive structure like we have, with the exception of Vegas. Vegas is pretty good, too.
John M. also saying a textbook Islanders road win, a road game, Grumpy.
100% accurate, 100%.
I want to go ahead and pull us through to the comments made by John Cooper after the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and pull that there through. Give us 1 second here.
The guys are obviously mentioning the turnovers there tonight's game. Do you think that's more of the unforced kind or ones that they're kind of forcing you to make based on the way they're playing against you guys?
I don't know. Our work ethic was there. Our compete was there. Our minds weren't there. Some of our decisions were poor. So what happens, you get this deep into the playoffs. There's only 4 teams left. You got everything working in unison, and we just weren't quite there tonight.
Greg Wyshynski, ESPN.
Thank you. Stamkos talked about the penalties really kind of sapping some good momentum that you guys had early in the game. Is that sort of what you saw?
I don't know. It's it doesn't help when it's 3-0 in the penalty department. And anyway, they earned their breaks, and it's tough because certain guys can't get on the ice when you're killing penalties, at least for us anyway. And so it probably takes you out of your rhythm tonight. But I thought our PK did a good job. We just, 3 in a row was tough on us.
Hold on. Lady, I got to stop you right there. I got to stop John Cooper right there. Holy shit.
Hold on. Is he trying to intimate that they had back-to-back penalties, 6 minutes straight in penalties?
I've never run across a string of more crybaby head coaches before in my freaking existence. Never once. If you're telling me these weren't legitimate penalties called on them, sure, I'd understand a little bit of the issue there for it. They were cut and dry, right? Goudreau went after Palmieri well after the whistle, started punching him in the face. I mean, Palmieri, he's a lot smaller than Goudreau, so it makes it look a lot more vicious, but holy crap. I mean, that was for certain a penalty. The trip was for certain a penalty there on Matt Barzal. And again, he's acting like you're right. It was 6 minutes in a row. Well, we could three unimpeded penalty calls there definitely stop momentum. Well, couldn't you say the last 2 penalty calls there stopped momentum of the Islanders in the third period, or we're just admitting that?
I mean, we didn't score on the power play. I mean, to me, if you look, he's too busy looking to see how his suit fit. Oh, hey, hold on. Let me make sure I got the sleeve pulled out. He don't even seem concerned. He doesn't see, and that's good news for us, honestly. Oh, well, we just weren't there mentally. Did the Islanders have anything to it? Nah, not really. That's what he should say.
Just made mistakes.
He's like, yeah, we just made some. We weren't mentally ready to go. Yeah, the Islanders, yeah, they're okay. They're just, the next team for us to roll through. There's no threat of us losing to them. They all sound the same.
They do all sound the same. We got 3 minutes left of the clip, though, Grumpy.
Oh,
Dan Rosen, NHL.com.
John, before the series started, you said the Islanders are really good at frustrating you and then feeding off of your mistakes. Did they frustrate you tonight?
It's frustrating to lose. So I think that's the frustrating part. But this is no different than the team we basically beaten in the bubble. And we just made too many mistakes. Like Joe said, the unforced errors. So managing the puck is a big thing against this team. They managed it better than us, and they got 1 extra break.
Okay.
What extra break? Your goalie let in a freaking shot from 60 feet out. Is that a break? That sounds like that's not a break. That's your goalie not executing on a wide open shot from the point with no screen.
Well, This is no different than the team we beat in the bubble. That just shows you how overconfident and conceited this asshole is. Has no freaking. This is the reason why they got swept 2 years ago in the first round, 4-0 by the Columbus Blue Jackets. This exact reason right here. I'll be honest with you, right? Everybody gives John Cooper immense amount of credit for, he does this, he does that. He has an unbelievable team. Here's one thing, right? If they win a cup this year, he's a miserable head coach. Straight up. This team right here has historic level of talent. The team last year, before the bubble happened, before the shortened season, they were on track there to have the most points in the history of NHL during the regular season, if I recall that correctly, grumpy old man. And to hear him make comments like that, oh, there's no real difference between this team and the team we faced last year in the bubble. Holy crap. That type of stuff drives me insane. And that is a player, I'm sure, drives it just puts fuel in the fire. Why the hell are you fueling the fire for a team you just lost to and were dominated by the last game? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I thought we did for the most part. Like I said, the opening, 8, 9, 10 minutes, and the final 3. Other than that, we carried the action the whole way. We shut them down. We played Islander hockey, and I just to make it sound like we got 2 lucky breaks. I mean, you could say your goaltender didn't execute 2 saves he absolutely should have made today.
Our goalie let a weak goal in through the 5-hole. He got hit with one from the blue line right in his stomach and let it trickle through his body. Why do you do something like that? Oh, yeah. And our defense looked porous. Victor Hedman looked like a pylon as he got skated around by, the elite Matt Barzal. An excellent save there by a goalie. And, Josh Bailey missing it by hitting off the crossbar by inches. We're completely omitting those opportunities and chances. Kyle Palmieri just missing those opportunities. We're just not even including those in our final assessment. I'll tell you one thing. We're going to continue. I know we're 2 minutes in. I'm sure some people are getting upset that I keep cutting John Cooper off after every single time he has a chance to go ahead and make a statement. But I would forget all these asinine comments if I didn't go ahead and cut them off. I'm sorry, Rump. We'll get right back to it, though.
Media, raise your hand if you have a question for Coach. We'll go back to Joe Smith.
You guys didn't really have probably any less chances tonight. I know you guys are able to have those in most of the season. Just something they were doing to kind of slow you guys down there, or just maybe they're managing the puck better?
As I said, we weren't using our heads the way we normally do tonight. So, played a different team than we played last week, and so it's weird because we're playing some really contrasting style teams, and Islanders do what they do. They do it extremely well, and we saw it. So now it's on us to pick it apart.
We'll do 2 more questions. Eric Erlinson, Lightning Insider.
Johnny, you guys like to have your D so active in the play and involved in the rushes and everything like that. You don't have any goals from your D this entire playoffs. How much more do you need from them to produce in that area, especially in the 5-on-5 game?
Well, it would help, I guess. I mean, the goal is to win the games. I don't think necessarily it's who scores. And, we won 2 series without them scoring. Can't sit here and say, well, because the D didn't score tonight, we lost. That wasn't it at all. Our D do a great job for us, and sometimes they go in for them, sometimes they don't. And they just, it's kind of weird though in this playoffs that they don't have goals yet. But I mean, we're in the semis, so I think eventually they're going to come.
Last question, Dan. You can have it if you have a follow-up.
Yeah, John, I mean, you see the play that Steven Stamkos makes there. I wonder if that play, he probably has to get the puck deep against anybody, but is there, you mentioned it, contrasting teams. Last week you're playing Carolina, they're a different style team. This week you're playing the Islanders. Is that a big enough factor to make a difference in the way you play and your mind's not being there in game 1? I mean, is there enough there to make you think too much, I guess?
No. Like I said, I think I've said it 3 times today. We need to make better decisions. That's it. And when we do that, I think our play will improve.
I've never seen somebody so smug and confident that his team is so elite and above anybody he's playing before in my entire life. And I'll tell you, right, when you're playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, when you're coaching the Tampa Bay Lightning, you see all the talent they have. I understand it can be easy to do that. That's not humble. It's not grounded. And that's how you get a team that might have less talent like the New York Islanders that comes and sweeps you right out from underneath your legs and beats you. There's nobody more I'd enjoy beating the crap out of than coaches who make comments like that about the New York Islanders. A total level of disrespect, even though, he gives them the compliment. They do what they do really well, blah, blah, blah. So much disrespect for the Islanders and so much disrespect for that team out there on the ice today.
If he comes out so condescending like that to the press, can you imagine what he's saying to his team in the locker room?
Yeah.
It's like, you got beat by this lowly slimeball team that can't do anything out there because you all were playing stupid hockey out there. They didn't win it. We lost it. That's his message. And you know what? Keep on telling him that. There's once again, no quit in this Islanders team. Pack a freaking lunch, John Cooper. It's going a long way this series.
He must think they're going to go ahead and win the next 4 games and beat the Islanders in 5 by comments like that. Hey, we just made some bad decisions. They got some lucky breaks, and we only wound up losing 2-1. If we play the way we can, we're going to go ahead and sweep them off the boards. That's exactly the mentality and the attitude he's taken. Oh my goodness, Grump. Comments like that, the amount of disrespect. Seriously, when you're going through the handshake line, I just have a shit-eating grin on my face, just smiling, saying, how do them apples taste, my friend? How do them apples?
Hey,
make some more comments like that against our team, huh? Enjoy watching us from the TV at home, okay?
Now, if Tampa comes out and sweeps us the next 4 games, I guess we'd have to say, well, I guess John Cooper was right.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to eat the shit out of our words. Like, do I think Tampa's going to come out and sweep us the next 4 games? Hell no, I'm hoping not.
Yeah.
If you're trying to tell me that over the next 4 games they'd beat the Islanders twice at the Coliseum, not buying it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't see that either. I'm just saying that, he does seem pretty smug and condescending and, but, I guess when you're defending champions and you kind of just walk through people, I could see where you get like that. So,
the level of disrespect.
Yeah. I just want to jam it up his butt. That's all.
Man. I'm glad Rusty Spooner brought that to our attention. Glad we got a chance. Adrian saying, hey there, TJ and Grumpy old man. How you guys doing? Grump, what do you say?
Yo, Adrian, we did it again.
We did it. Patrick V there saying, hey guys, another great win for the Islanders. Played great defense. Varlamov was steady. I'm really impressed with the Pajot line. I think everyone played well today. Barzal was fantastic. Thank God for Pulak's goal. Let's keep it going, boys. Let's go Islanders.
Patrick Vezina. I just love his name.
Patrick V. Josh H. They're saying huge win for the Islanders. Got a chance to take a 2-0 lead, but at least we go back home with a split.
That's what you look for. Split the first 2 games on the road. And, like I said, winning the first one, no pressure on us for game 2. Absolutely none. All the pressure's on Tampa. Tampa's under pressure now. They know they have to win next game. Let's see what happens. Can we lock them down again? Can we play that lockdown defensive style? Can we frustrate them? Can we make them play stupid hockey like John Cooper said? If we can, we have a chance to go up 2-0.
Here's the thing, right? I think they actually have zero pressure. After listening to that commentary by John Cooper, I think they feel no pressure in the room. They are completely overconfident. They could be down 3-0 and still feel that, hey, they're going to walk over the Islanders in the next 4 games. That's the type of pompous attitude that these punks have. So I'll tell you, do I feel like they have any pressure on them? Absolutely not. I think this team is way overconfident. I think until they're down 3-0, will they finally click for them that, hey, we're on the verge of elimination. Until they're in an elimination game, it's not going to click for them.
You're wrong.
Overconfident.
You're 100% wrong because you say that they think that they'll start getting concerned when it's 3-0. I mean, you listen to Pittsburgh and Boston, they were still thinking they won the series even when they lost. Well, geez, we were better than them. I mean, that just feels, like I said, it's like shampoo. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's what I'm hoping we got this series too.
Oh, goodness gracious. Man, oh, man. Oh, nothing grinds my gears more than that. Scott L. They're saying, Scott L., long-time listener, they're saying, great win. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was 1 game out of 7. It will be a long-fought series. Got at least a split in Tampa. Would love to go up 2-0, but I'll definitely take a split going back to the barn. Yes, sir. I will too.
Yep, right on ahead.
Tom White there saying, great game. For the most part, we were hungry for the puck. Quick feet, winning races, creating turnovers because our urgency today.
That's how we have to play to beat them. If you want to lay back and let them attack you, you're in trouble. From Rocky 3, you're in trouble, man. Hulk Hogan saying to Rocky before the exhibition boxer versus wrestling match. So we have to come out and be aggressive. And Hulk Hogan lives in the Tampa area.
Hulk Hogan. I'm going to tell you, brother.
The Islanders are going to run wild on you, brother.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's a blast from the past. D-Cut there saying grumpy with a nice A's jersey. Reggie Jackson on the back, question mark. Yes, he is. Will S. also saying Kucherov sold that one, talking about the penalty. And then John saying, Grump, you're wrong. Kucherov sold that one.
I still think if he didn't get the stick up, the stick rode up his chest, and he sold it. Absolutely he did. You know what? Matt Barzal drew 2 penalties today on trips. Absolutely did. Did he go down a little bit easier? He certainly did. But you know what? They were trips. So, good. They were all penalties. I had no problem with the Nelson penalty. My problem was with Nelson being dumb enough to get his stick even up there where you can have the official have to make a decision on that call. Croc.
Okay. Carte blanche. Get him, Grumpy. LOL.
What is it?
Rounders. Carte blanche.
It's not carte blanche.
Carte blanche.
Carte blanche.
Carte blanche. Carte blanche. Carte blanche.
God.
Carte blanche.
Jesus.
There we go. Thank you, Rusty Spooner. Thanks for that one. I should not have shown that comment because Grump doesn't read the comments.
I don't read the comments, but hey.
Tom White saying Grumpy was right there on the penalty on Nelson. Red in the face. Brian J saying huge win.
Yep.
For certain it was. And then Will S. also saying there, the boys looked ready for today's game.
Absolutely. This was today, to me, this was must win today. I thought today was must win for us. And we came out and played like that.
Mm-hmm. Alexander also saying Sharp says nonsense things.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. He says nothing of, well, I came into the studio today and you know what? The Dallas Stars look good and their goalie looked good and Vegas, they look good. That was a nice goal. Jeez, come on, Patty. And I like him. He's a pretty boy.
Will S. there saying, still haven't gotten over that Kucherov slash on Pajot's empty net goal last year. Yeah, you talk about the chippy to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I forgot about that too. Funny how you forget.
Yeah, but it was when they lost. I mean, that said, they didn't play that way today. They did not play that way today. You cannot say that they played chippy today. They did not. It's not how they want to play. They can do it now. They've got some players who can play that style, but that's not how they want to play. That's not their game. That's our game.
Hold on. We do not play dirty. Okay.
I didn't say dirty.
Okay. You said chippy, but here's the thing. The slash that happened to Pajot at the end on the empty net goal last year when they were down already 2-0, or they were down 2 goals and they had that blatant slash, a Paul Bunyan chop.
That's a dirty play.
Yeah, that's a dirty play. It's not chippy. That's dirty. We don't play dirty. We're not even close to that.
You're misunderstanding. I said Tampa Bay didn't play chippy today. Chippy and dirty are 2 different things. Tampa Bay doesn't play dirty either. Can they have a dirty play? Absolutely. They don't play dirty.
We don't have dirty plays ever.
I didn't say we had dirty players. Chippy. We could be chippy. Absolutely. Matt Martin started right off the bat today. He started that. And now you know what? That's the way we have to play. We have to get inside their head like that.
I don't want to get into a semantics battle with you, Grump, but one last time. I'm just going to say it. You saying that was a dirty play by Kucherov, which was true. It was a dirty play by Kucherov, and then saying that they're not chippy. 2 completely different comments. That was a dirty play by them. I don't think Tampa's a chippy team. I think there are sometimes can be a dirty team, dirty individual plays, and that was definitely a dirty individual play. I'm just saying, can't liken them the same. That's it.
Okay. No, they're 2 different things. And you're talking about last year, one play last year. I'm talking about the style of play of the team. They are not a chippy team. They're not Boston. They're not Philadelphia. They're not Washington when they play us. They're just not. That's not their style of play.
Moving right along there. Frank K saying, and the Oscar goes to Kucherov. LeBum James will be proud at that flop. That was a textbook win by the Islanders today.
Yeah, well, you know what? He sold it a little bit, but Nelson put himself in that position to get that penalty sold. It was dumb on Nelson's part with, a minute and a half to whatever it was, a minute 45 seconds left to go in the game. It was dumb. With a capital D. Frank
K, they're also saying Cassidy is a moron for playing Rask. I'll tell you one thing. How dumb does Cassidy look now? Holy crap. Your goalie's got a torn labrum in his hip, and you're still rolling him out there on the ice game after game, and you're playing an injured goalie that needed surgery. It's going to be out till January?
Even post game, he's like, well, I don't know if he's going to need surgery or not. That's up to Tuukka. So maybe they had no idea that he had a torn labrum in his hip.
Bullshit.
Okay,
I'm going to tell you what happens. They go ahead and give him the MRI. They know exactly what the diagnosis is. You've got a torn labrum. Maybe they thought they could go ahead and rest it. Maybe it wasn't all the way torn. Maybe it was partially torn. I'm going to tell you one thing. If as soon as the season's over and the matter of 3 days later they determine that he needs surgery, they had the plan to get him surgery all along. That's just not a spur-of-the-moment decision. I'm sorry.
He said that it'll be up to Tuukka if he needs surgery or not. That's what he said post-game. That's what he said post-game. I'm not defending Bruce Cassidy. If you knew the guy had a torn labrum, it's obvious he was hurt. Let's be honest. He was not moving well. I thought it was his back, but he wasn't moving well. Did that cost him the series? No.
No, it did not.
Because the Islanders outplayed them when it mattered most. But it certainly didn't help their cause. I will say that.
Scott Levy also saying, hit the organist like in Slapshot, you said, grumpy old man.
That's right. Just like in Slapshot, Paul Newman, Eddie Shore, old-time hockey, putting on the foil. The Hanson Brothers, great movie. And they have good music from the 1970s in there. Really underrated music.
Robin Stewart saying, coffee and Trottier won together in the Berg. Moving right along there. She also says, the Jags 1, the Lightning 0.
There you go. Keep it up. I love it.
Frank K also said Barry deserves credit for letting Barzal be himself.
Yeah, he needs to do that more.
Yeah, absolutely. Grump. And then also Brills YT, they're saying the Lightning fan base was quieter than a home game for the Sabres losing 7-1.
Yeah, to me, the teams down south, with the exception of Carolina, their fans are pretty raucous.
The Caniacs.
But they are. They're pretty wild group. But most of them are kind of laid back. It's not, hockey has not been bred into them for years and years and years where, oh my God, my grandfather watched the Tampa Bay. They just haven't been around long enough. So, I think that has something to do with it. Also, just there's more things to do down south. I don't know. I don't care. The Islanders have a great fan base. That's all I know. Way better than Tampa, way better than just about any team in the league. Except for some of the teams in Canada. They got some pretty wild fan bases up there, too.
Fair enough, Grump. Fair enough. They're moving right along there. Brent W. said Tampa brought the Lightning. Islanders brought the Thunder.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
put some thought into that comment. Gotta love it.
Angela, and they're saying we're Islanders. We can handle the Lightning. Great.
We can handle Lightning. We're not afraid. Good.
Nick D, they're saying TJ Grump. I agree, Grump. When Sharp or someone who said maybe the tea bags are rusty, the Tampa Bay Lightning are rusty, but I said bullshit and had one more day of rest.
Yeah, they make it sound like they swept the series and had 2 weeks off. No, or 8 days off like Winnipeg did. No. They played one. It was one more game of rest. Anything, it helped them.
I'm just letting you know, guys, we lost quite a few comments, so I apologize if your comments were in the middle. That being said, there, D-Cut, they're saying the fire hydrant, yes, it's out in full swing there. Eric K, they're saying outstanding play by us today, guys. Continue it Tuesday night.
We can hope.
Oh, goodness gracious. Too Much Pessimistic said, our fan base really has no celebrities. We, the fans, are the celebrities. I could think of one, Karate Kid.
Well, Ralph Macchio, but no, Kevin Connolly's a big fan too.
If I'm thinking of, okay, who do they roll out there? Who's at games consistently? Ralph Macchio's at the games.
No, you can't sell Kevin Connolly short. He's been an Islander fan forever. He has. Cannot sell him short. He was from Entourage. Cannot sell him short.
Okay.
He's a huge Islander fan.
Brian B. there. Oh, Kevin. He was also big friends with Garth Snow, wasn't he? If I remember this correct. He's big friends with Garth Snow.
Okay. I don't know.
I think. Brian B. there saying this team has surprised me. I'll admit, I really didn't think we would be in this position playing good hockey at the moment.
As Brian, my brother from another mother, without a doubt. We think the same every single time. He's like he's in my head.
That he is there.
Make sure you get enough to drink there.
Oh, for certain. Will do, Grumpy there. Matthew S. saying Tampa wasn't ready for us today. Varlamov was outstanding.
I thought he made a couple of big saves at the end. Man, I'll tell you what, Scott Mayfield just selling out back. He thinks he's goalie 1A out there. He's diving in front of pucks. I mean, geez, even at the end, just guys got a puck on a stick. I'm just jumping in front. Hit me in the face, hit me wherever. I love Scott Mayfield. Man, he's been one of my favorites from when he was drafted out of St. Louis. Man, oh man, I love me some Scott Mayfield. I hope he's around for a long time.
He spent some time there. I think it was at Denver University. I
think he's from St. Louis though.
Okay. Gotcha, Grumpy old man. I do think I remember there at Denver University.
One thing I want to bring up real quick. Remember I said I thought that Katie Ledecky was John Ledecky's niece? And somebody said, no, it's his daughter. Well, it is his niece. So once again, the grumpy old man was correct.
Oh, goodness. Hey, you're live here with TJ and the grumpy old man. Who do we have calling in?
Hey, Grump. Hey, TJ. It's Mike.
What's up, Mike? How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm very happy, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike M.
Yep. So I got two things for you guys today. The first one is of course the Tampa fans are blaming the officiating after game one. I kind of expect it after every game at this point, but I think the real theme here is that other fans just don't want to give us any credit at all.
We're the freaking Islanders. We're the Islanders. We don't have any stars on our team. We got Matt Barzal, who we try to shackle, but other than that, we're not fun to watch. We don't play an exciting brand of hockey in any way, shape, or form. Name somebody on your team who's any good. When you say Josh Bailey's one of your better players, I don't blame the fan base for saying that. They look at our team. But what don't they know? They can't see what's in our heart. That's what they can't see. We have heart, their teams do not.
It's so strange with Josh too, because during the regular season, he's really nothing special. But then you get to the playoffs and phenomenal in some points of the game. Like, he's fast. That line is just quick passing, dancing around the Lightning. It's really something to watch. And sometimes I don't understand how fans love him, and then I watch him and how he's been in the playoffs, and I'm like, I kind of get it now a little bit. Like, I kind of see it.
He plays so well. It's like we're going to retire his jersey up there in the rafters, right, Grumpy?
Christ, no, come on. Let's not panic. I tell you, I
love pushing your buttons, Grump.
Every single game, I cuss at Josh Bailey, and today was no different. There was one he wouldn't shoot the freaking puck. I'm like, shoot the puck, wide open shot, and he's always looking to pass. Always look at his head. He's shifted. I mean, I would say that at least he keeps his head up out there. I mean, he doesn't never have to worry about getting run. I mean, he's always got his head on a swivel. But you know what? Put the puck in the net. You got a wide open shot, take it. And of course, then he has a wide open shot. What does he do? Clank.
Oh, goodness, Grump. No respect for Josh Bailey.
Put him on the
final point. Sorry, Grump, my bad.
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to say my final point is, you guys know I've been hyping up Barzal this whole playoffs, and all I have to say, the shooting luck has started to kick in. Everyone was all over him in the first round, yet he was still top 5 on the team in shots. Like, he was trying. You know what I mean? Sure, he wasn't out there dangling everybody, but he's playing with Leo Komarov. And as good as Leo has been, I mean, the guy's got no goals in the playoffs. I think it speaks for itself, right? I mean, it's kind of like a handicap. He's getting double and triple team, but he's finally getting the shooting luck. And I think he's always been good in the playoffs. They're going in the net now. So.
Yeah, he again, I think he's a big time performer for certain. He is. And hey, there's no better time to start picking up your play and starting to get hot than, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, especially as you get closer and closer to the finals.
Yep.
Oh,
well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. I can't wait to listen to the rest of it, and especially during work tomorrow. Hope we can win this series, and how crazy would it be and close it in the Coliseum?
Oh,
great. It'd be a phenomenal send-off.
Oh, for certain it would. For certain it would. Thank you so much, Mike M, there for calling in as always. Yeah, Grumpy.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you. He mentioned a point there. Tampa Bay fans complaining about the officiating. How the hell are you complaining about the officiating?
I don't get it. Your team came out today and they opened up the game pretty well, I thought. The first 10 minutes or so, first 8 or 9, until the dump in. Dump in changed everything. And then we carry the action till right at the end. It's like they woke up at the end, though. That penalty by Kroc woke them up a little bit. And that's a concern because, let's be honest, Tampa is loaded. They're a really good team. I mean, I'm not going to say they suck. They're a really good team, best team in the league. But that doesn't mean we can't beat them. We just have to stick to our style. I thought both penalties were a little iffy, but I thought the Palmieri penalty even more so. I didn't see that as a penalty at all, honestly, that they called. The guy was standing there looking at it. I'm like, I don't see that. I can't believe they called that, particularly with the other stuff that they let go. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you mentioned why it is that, some fans are just have this blind belief that, hey, it's a penalty is the reason why I lost that game. Look at how John Cooper answers that question and think about how most fans are. Whatever head coach says, they say, absolutely, head coach. I 100% agree with you. Couldn't agree more. And when John Cooper's going out there in a post game saying that, that completely messed up our rhythm and momentum. We had, 3 penalties called against us in a row that stopped us, and we weren't able to get right guys on the ice. Cry me a freaking river. And you saw everybody else there. All the Tampa Bay fans you're parroting the same exact stuff. And you look at all the calls that weren't called on both sides. Man, oh man. I thought the Palmieri penalty was weak as shit. It was weak as puppy piss. And again, I thought that Brock Nelson call was as soft as Charmin. But moving right along there through the comments, Grumpy Old Man, Owen Johnson, remember you. Islanders in 6.
Okay. All right, Owen.
Frank K saying, my hair is loved worldwide. Some girls have rejected dates with me because they said my hair is nicer than theirs.
Oh, that's not true, Frank. I know that's not true.
Hey, man, I'd get jealous if
no. I'm sorry, Frank. That's not true. I'm sorry, that's not true.
Christopher C saying, Grumpy, are you an Islanders fan and an Oakland Athletics fan?
Yeah, the A's were my favorite baseball team as a kid growing up, right? When you're young, what are you drawn to? Colors, stuff like that. I love the Oakland Raiders in football. I love the New York Jets in football. Joe Namath wearing the white shoes. I don't know what the white shoes thing I don't know. I always thought white shoes were just cool. And the A's in their uniforms. Gosh, I remember the whole team from the 70s. Sal Bando, Campy Campaneris, Dick Green, Mike Epstein, Gene Tennis, Reggie, Angel Mangual, Billy North, Joe Rudy. Gosh, the whole pitching staff, Blue Moon Odom, Catfish Hunter, Vida Blue, Ken Holtzman. Oh, just fantastic. Raleigh Fingers, Ray Fosse behind the plate. They were great. So, yeah, and I just, you just love the uniform. That's what draws me in as a kid. So, yeah.
All righty, Grump. Moving right along there. Matthew S. there saying, I could see girls saying that about Frank K's hair. I know you said you might not see that, Grump, but hey, man.
No. Well, you know what? Maybe they're saying that because they don't want to hurt Frank's feelings in other ways.
Oh, shit. Oh, my
God. I'm just saying.
I'm throwing shots at Frank K.
I'm not throwing shots at Frank. I just think that what girls can say, no, Frank, I can't go out with you because your hair is better than mine. I don't see that. I'm sorry. Nobody says that to the grumpy old man.
Grumpy, you don't have to worry about that because their hair is not nicer than theirs, I bet, in a lot of cases. Anyway, moving right along there, Grump. I'm not going to let you make your comment back. What a film's there saying, Grump, the Islanders have won 4 straight since I started wearing my Bailey jersey. Throw your T-shirt on for game 2. Thanks for the podcast tonight. Love you guys.
I am going to do that. I'm going to wear the Bailey T-shirt on Tuesday. If they lose, well, I'm not going to burn it because it was a gift from Brett at NetThreads, but I won't wear it again during the playoff run.
Scott Levy there saying Cobra. He knew it was Cobra too. Nick D saying there, I was too shocked that Pulak finally shot it on net. Never mind getting a goal.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. He actually put it on net. Should have been saved easily, but still, I mean, I can't. That was, to me, that was the biggest shock. He actually put a puck on net.
Hey man, it was just a few lucky breaks they had, and some unfortunate calls and some bad mistakes we made on our side. That's
Thanks, John. Thanks, Coach John.
Absolutely. Mark S. there saying Tampa needed a 2-man advantage to score today. For certain they did. And Master Lego Yoda, I like this. Master Lego Yoda, I like that name, saying, great game for the boys today. I think that if we stay out of the penalty box, we're almost guaranteed to win this series. Let's go Islanders.
Yeah, putting them in a penalty box is like throwing gasoline on a fire. I cannot do that with them. They're really, I mean, even today, right? 2 penalties, 1 goal. I mean,
2 power plays, 1 goal. Yeah.
Yeah, we took 2 penalties, they had 1 goal. Yeah.
I like the commitment to Yoda right there. Master Lego Yoda. He's got the emblem on it too. Greg Frost there saying, celebrate the win, enjoy the moment, stop bitching. Was a good team effort today. Martin and Zajac were slow, but it didn't F up too bad. Leo was okay. He's on the wrong line, and he should fill in ROR Martin.
For Martin. Fill in for Martin.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Fill in for Martin.
I don't think we were complaining at all today.
Grump, you get those moments where you start getting a little. I'm like, I could see how fans think that is.
Well, there were some of the vets look slow out there today. Some of the older guys look slow. I mean, I've been nothing but complimentary to the team today. But some guys look slow.
Rob and Stewart there saying the Tampa fans were weak as well. Roman L there saying we need to be better on the penalty kill.
I thought we looked okay. I thought we looked okay on the. I thought we looked good on the first penalty kill. I'm glad it was separated over 2 periods, but I thought that Pajot was especially good on that. The second one, I thought initially we were really good, and then they just got that one right at the end. I just thought they were buzzing at the end.
Yeah, well, again, their movement is so good. They're able to rotate seamlessly. And you talk about, it's funny, right? We talk about how well we do in the defensive side of the puck, how well we're able to go ahead and hem teams up, how well we do in the neutral zone. They look as good, if not better, when they do that in the offensive zone of the power play. Their movement is fantastic. Their ability to cycle is outstanding. There's a reason why they're scoring over 40% of their power play opportunities this year in the playoffs. There's a reason. It's not a mystery.
I mean, we just sell out down low to block shots. To me, when the Islanders are on the power play, I'm like, shoot. And Tampa's on a power play, I'm going, pass. You can't score if you're just passing back and forth. So, and I saw Kucherov was taking that shot. I'm like, oh, right there at the end. The last game, I'm like, oh, thank goodness it went wide or was deflected wide. Oh, great team effort.
Darren Z, they're saying Pellick is their best Grump.
Best defenseman. Yeah, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. Scott L saying, I wish TJ would just read the comments and cut out the phone calls. I'm sorry. We try to do a little bit of both because that's why we try to cut it down. We only do phone calls once a week. It's just on the Saturday installment.
The reason TJ does that, he wants everyone to feel part of the podcast.
Yeah. I like to talk to everybody too.
And he wants people to have a voice, and I have no problem with that. So, I just wish TJ would know how to answer a phone. Maybe he should learn how to do that, how to pick up a phone.
It would probably cut off about 20 minutes of me fiddling around saying, hey, Grump, you're going to have to give me a sec. Grump, give me a sec. So we're working on it. The Zoo Band saying, hey, fans, my band, The Zoo, will be performing and getting you all pumped up. Not that you'll need any of the help at the Fan Fest tailgate party on Thursday at the Coliseum, 5 p.m. start time. Let's go, Islanders.
Always shout out to The Zoo. Those guys are great.
Absolutely there. And then Joe C. They're saying every time I've been to the, I'm going to mess up the name. Was it Emily?
Yeah, sure.
Emily. There were more Islander fans than Lightning.
Good. That's the way we like it. But that's the way it is in those Florida cities. It really is. It's like, look at the Florida Panthers. They're always 3/4 empty all the time. You can always get a ticket there. Even they're good. Really.
All the snowbirds flying down too, the New Yorkers. Coet score, they're saying, I heard the Islander fans in Tampa, and then Frank K saying the arena was louder for wrestling 4 years ago than it was today. And that was the tarp covering the whole 300 section. And that was with the tarp covering the whole 300 section.
Well, let's say something about wrestling, right? I mean, that's great entertainment. And, sometimes when your team's getting beat by the Islanders, how entertaining is that for you? Not too much. Where everybody's got a good guy and a bad guy to cheer for in wrestling, for and against. You never hear. I mean, here's the thing: if you have a dead wrestling crowd, the promoter's going, "Uh-oh, I got to do something better, or they ain't coming back next time."
Yeah, they're not doing their job well. Nick D saying Tampa Bay is not really a hockey city. Football, baseball, NASCAR are what they follow more. It's not like Long Island there or Canada where hockey rules all.
Not even baseball, honestly. It's a football. Okay, you name one city that has a football team that's not has an NFL team that's not a football town. I mean, football's the Mac Daddy. NASCAR, well, yeah. But not so much baseball and certainly not hockey. I mean, here's the thing. If they get to the finals, you'll see the fans all come out of the woodwork again. Yeah, we're Tampa Bay fans. We love it. When they lose, not so much.
That's his. Brian P. saying Komarov is also dead weight.
Yeah, he did have that good. He did. He and Eberle won that 2-on-2 puck battle that led to Pulak's goal. So
John O'Neill saying, watching the last month of the season, I could have never imagined this team finding another gear and sustaining it in the playoffs. But that's exactly what they have done. And I'm so proud and so excited.
Yeah, see, that's my point. You're watching them during the regular season. It's like, man, they're just not good enough. They're just not. And one thing I'll disagree is they have not just found another gear. They found a third gear almost. It seems like they're getting better and better and better as the playoffs go on. And that's what you want as a team. You don't want to start out, oh, we're hot now, and then you want to ramp up. I mean, and that's what I thought we were okay. I thought if they didn't have Tristan Jarry, we lose in the first round. We certainly upped our level against Boston. And today's game against a way superior opponent to Boston, we upped it again. Can we sustain it for the entire series? That's the question.
A 2-minute specimen sticking saying there, Trotz may be the best coach ever, where he's coached 3 organizations under 3 very different circumstances to the relative success.
No, absolutely not. Scotty Bowman. Think about what Scotty Bowman did, right? St. Louis got them to how many Stanley Cup finals? Didn't win, but got them to how many Stanley Cup finals? Montreal wins how many cups? Goes to Buffalo, makes them a fantastic contender. Goes to Detroit, wins Stanley Cups there. Pittsburgh wins Stanley Cups there. No, Scotty Bowman. And I'm not a Scotty Bowman fan, but he was great. He's the greatest hockey coach of all time. Al Arbor's number 2.
Robin Stewart also saying there, it's June now. Are you ready to judge Palmieri and Zajac trade, Grumpy?
No. I already judged it. F-.
Holy shit. He's still sticking that hill.
Like I said, we'll wait till the season's over. We'll wait to see what happens, and then I'll make,
It's at least a B. Doesn't matter if they lose every single game from here on out. It's at least a B.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you're doing instant judgment on a trade, everything you have to wait, honestly, like draft grades. Well, you got to wait 3-4 years. But, we'll see what happens.
Grumpy old man. Scott L also saying there, what's your prediction on Montreal and Vegas series, Grump?
Vegas is they're a really sound team defensively. There's no quitting them either. They're a good team. I think we can beat Vegas though.
I think Vegas wins. Again, I think that Montreal was able to roll right from the first series where they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the style that they did. right into the next series. They didn't even have a chance to let anything sink in. They didn't have a chance to think about it. And now Montreal had a chance, a week literally, to sit back and think about what had happened, where they are, the magnitude of their situation. I think they start to grip the sticks a little harder. And I think Vegas wins. They've been there, done that a few times in the last few years. I think Vegas makes it back to the Stanley Cup Finals there again. Brian P. also saying there, TJ's wondering about signing Zajac and Palmieri. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Here's the thing. It all depends.
No. Do not sign guys in their 30s to long-term deals. Do not do it.
Mm-hmm.
No. We're right up against the salary cap, and you want to sign more old guys to deals? No.
Fair enough there, grumpy old man. I'm just saying, hey, I mean, it depends on what they do this offseason. I don't envision them signing Kyle Palmieri and keeping Jordan Eberle in the same token. There's only so much room and space they have. I'll be interested to see what happens here going forward. Frank K. also said, like Nature Boy says, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. Maybe the Islanders can do it. Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
There
Nature Boy.
There it is.
Ric Flair.
Robin Stewart also said, nice to see two WHL boys score tonight.
I always liked the Western Hockey League. I always liked them out there. They just seem tougher. I don't know why. Just seems like you got to be rough and ready to play out there in the West.
So it must have been there. Braden Point was from the WHL. I think Ryan Pulak was from the OHL, wasn't he?
Well, Barzell is from the West Coast.
No, he's from the Seattle.
You said Braden Point. Now I don't remember where.
Hold on. Braden Point's the one who scored for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I could tell you. I think Ryan Pulak's from the OHL.
Okay, listen to me. Robin is not including Braden Point in her comment. I'm telling you right now, she's including Ryan Pulak and Matt Barzell. So I think he played for the Brandon Wheat Kings, and I think that is a Western league, is it not?
Fair enough. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I thought he played in the O way back in the day, but when he played juniors, it was back like 20. It was before 2015. It had to be like, what was it, back in like 2013, 2012? My memory is foggy, grumpy old man.
Yeah, I think he played for the Brandon Wheat Kings, and I believe that's a WHL team.
There it is, Grump. Your memory is correct. The Brandon Wheat Kings there, WHL team. I'll give you credit there, Grump.
There you go.
And Robin credit as well. Ryan G, they're saying we are winning the cup.
I'll go with that. I hope so.
Oh, gotcha, grumpy old man. Moving right along there. Nick D also saying, I think all of us who love the Islanders pace or scream at the TV. I'm hoping the players or Barry would hear me from Vancouver.
That's true. I often yell at the television. I feel it has a direct impact on the team and how it performs.
Absolutely there, grumpy old man.
It's part of being a fan, honestly. I do it in every sport. Every sport.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I just start standing closer and closer in front of the TV. And, oh, man, I'm always holding something, so there could be some ricochet.
And I do have favorites. They can do no wrong. And I have whipping boys. They can't do anything right. You can imagine who does nothing wrong. Tom Brady, Matt Barzell. And then you figure who can't do anything right. Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey.
God almighty. You done with that bit yet? Can you cough a few more times and tell me, Josh?
Josh Bailey.
Oh, Alexander, they're saying, I'm talking with my boy who's a Panthers fan, and he still doesn't think we are as good of a team. We're average at best, and we still get back swept. OMG, I'm so pissed. It pissed me off.
Okay. Here's what your friend who's a Panthers fan is looking at. He's looking at the individual talent on the team. And I'd say he's correct. But when you talk about being a team, we are really good at that. Playing the team game as a team. We are what you say, the sum is greater than the parts. And I can see where your friend, the Panther guy, yeah, we don't have an Alexander Barkov and a Huberdeau, and guys of that ilk. We don't. But we're a better team. That said, the Florida Panthers are on the way up because Joe Quenneville's a great coach.
Brett W says, Grumpy, if Bailey gets to hoist Lord Stanley's cup, knock on wood, that's your cue to go to the Islanders website and order his jersey.
Okay, I said I would wear a Josh Bailey jersey. I ain't freaking buying one, though. That much I can tell you, but I will wear one.
Oh, man. You know, when he start making statements like that, he must think it's really possible that the Islanders
I said that. I said if they win the Stanley Cup, I will wear a Josh Bailey jersey. That is what I said. I've been straight up honest from the point. I never said I was going to buy one, but I would wear one.
Cliff, and they're saying one game at a time. That's all I say when someone who tries to ask about the Islanders' recent success. Just trying to keep my head down and focus on each game with the big target in the distance.
Here's what I think. I think Cliff is actually Barry Trotz. Because that is exactly what Barry Trotz would say. And here's the thing. He's right. We're not caring about Tuesday. Well, now we're caring about Tuesday, but we're not caring about Thursday. We're not caring about Saturday. All we're caring about is Tuesday. Okay, one shift at a time, one game at a time, one shift at a time, one shot at a time.
Ariel C, they're saying that was shut down defense, kept most of the big guns to the outside. Great chess match there. And also saying Tampa is also in for a rude awakening when they get to the Coliseum because the crowd sounds like a library. My Lord.
Yeah, we don't know how it was mic'd either, but I'm going to say they didn't sound very raucous at all. I don't know how many seats they have. I know they used to be in an arena that was like 24,000, and I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if the new arena is the old one. I don't know. It was just a name thing, but for certain, they're not like the Coliseum. I mean, man, I tell you what, the fans are just ridiculous at the Coliseum. It makes an impact on the game. I firmly believe that. We're tough to beat at all.
Toy Department Brock says, is it conceivable that the Islanders win game 2?
It's inconceivable. You know what movie that's from, TJ?
The Princess's Bride.
The Princess Bride. That's right.
Princess Bride.
And I love when a guy says, I don't think you know the definition of that word.
David L. there saying, I'm a lifelong Islander fan. Let's go Islanders.
Yes. Man. That looks like an old video game right there. I can't read what type it is, but it looks like an old one. It's too small for me to read the picture.
Oh, goodness. Alexander also saying, time for Barry Trotz to go Arnold from Commando on Tampa in game 2.
Oh, man, that was another great movie, Arnold. Yeah. Oh, man, Commando was fantastic. What happened to Sully? I let him go. He dropped him. That was so cool. You know, you could actually see the string with the guy, but there's Arnold with his hand out, just holding this guy. He was a guy from the Warriors. Warriors come out and play. That guy was in the Commando, and Arnold held him out over a cliff, and he just, wah! Remember when I said I'd let you go, Sully? He's like, yeah, Matrix. That's what you said. You let me go. I lied. Man, I love those old lady movies. Arnold movies were great.
Now that we're about 2 hours and 30 minutes in, just a reminder, guys, we'll be going live after every single post Islander game for the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs here. And again, remember, the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of that action is subscribing there to the YouTube page, or liking or following us there on Facebook or Twitter, or if you listen to the podcast, make sure you subscribe in that capacity so you don't miss out on any of the action. But back to it, we're starting to get into some of the John Cooper there comments. Alexander saying, are you freaking kidding me, John Cooper? And then Matthew S. there saying, wow, somebody call the ambulance. Scott L. saying, wow, Cooper is a putz.
He reminds you of Cassidy, doesn't he? I mean, they're all the same. They cannot conceive of how their teams that are this talented are losing to the Islanders. Sullivan was the same way. The Pittsburgh players, the Boston players, I guarantee you Tampa players the same way. They can't believe, well, it's just one game. All right, we lost the Islanders. We'll take care of them next game.
Yeah, my goodness gracious. Eli also saying, even after this win, Money Puck only gives us a 16% chance to win the Cup, which is lower than Montreal, even with a 19% underdog mentality for the win. Yeah, I'm blown away that the Montreal Canadiens have a 19% chance to win. The Islanders had the least percent chance to win there, the Cup. Montreal had better odds, they say.
Even with this win, right? But then think about it. All right. I think honestly that says more about Tampa than it says about us. That said, they don't have any faith in us. That much I can tell you. I mean, but that's what it's like where the money's going on. That's what it is. I mean, is anybody really betting? Unless you're an Islander fan, if you're going up to the window, are you saying, I plunked down $1 million on the Islanders? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to go with Tampa. You know, heart says Islanders, brain, Tampa Bay.
Well, stop, Grumpy.
I'm just saying when people go to bed. When people go to bed, that's all I'm saying.
David L said we will win. And also with a film saying, TJ, I love it. You got John Cooper nailed down. Thank you. And then Eli saying, of Montreal and Vegas, if we win, which would you rather face off against?
Montreal. I'd much rather play Montreal and Vegas.
Yeah.
Boy, how the you know what? I even thought about that today. Man, would I love that series. Montreal and the Islanders. Oh, fantastic.
I would almost kind of, I don't want to see Robin Leonard. Wouldn't it not be just irony if we faced off and again, like somehow Marc-Andre Fleury gets banged up, he gets hurt, has a bad start, and we're facing against Robin Leonard for the entire series?
Well, I was going to say that was the only way you'd see Robin Leonard is if Marc-Andre Fleury got hurt.
Yeah,
he's been really good. But I'd rather play Montreal. It's like I was trying to say the point before with the Islanders. You know, if you ask me, okay, who are you rooting for, Montreal or Vegas? I'd root for Montreal. My heart would say, yeah, I'm rooting for Montreal. But if I'm putting money on it, I'm saying Vegas. That's what I mean with the Islanders in Tampa.
Rusty Spooner said, I told you about Bubble Boy, John. Let's go Islanders for certain.
Bubble Boy. I just love how he brought up the bubble. I can't believe he brought up the bubble. They're the same team we played in the bubble.
James got a little tight. He's got a little.
I think he's a Tampa Bay guy, right? He's got to be a Tampa Bay fan.
Tampa Bay Lightning, their emblem on his on the YouTube.
Right. James, hey, James, you're allowed to come on here and listen. You're not going to hear me bash your team. Your team's good. I'm going to rip your coach for being a Dr. Douche. But other than that, I mean, Tampa's a great team. They really are.
Nick D saying, I like the fire. TJ Cooper is nervous about this series. Last year, the T-Bags took advantage of us last year because we traveled on a rest day. This year, it's a fair game. Let's go Islanders.
I don't think he's nervous. I don't think he looks nervous at all. I think he's overconfident. That's what I think. Geez, we lost. It's like, yeah, they got a couple of lucky breaks. Man, who did that sound like? Sound like Pittsburgh, didn't it? They got a couple of lucky breaks. We didn't play smart. We didn't play with our heads today. Do you need to change anything? No, we just need to be a little smarter. That's it.
Sounded so arrogant. Ariel C there saying also, I don't know if you guys know this stat, but 50% of Tampa's goals this postseason have come from the power play.
Do not get into the penalty box. If you get into the box, that's why I have it. That's one of my bullet points. Keep out of the box. Right up there. Number 2.
Keep out of the freaking box.
Probably number 1.
Matthew S. also saying even Cassidy was a little more humble.
Yeah, this guy was just, I mean, talk about bulletin board material. Hey, this is what Barry should be doing. This is what John Cooper thinks of you fellas.
You guys don't need any more fire. You're playing the Eastern Conference Finals, but if you need that little extra icing on top, ladies and gentlemen, just take a look at the lack of respect that this other guy and that team and that everybody else has against you. That type of stuff, the us against them mentality is what thrust us onto the scene originally when Barry Trotz joined. Again, us against the world, I believe, is what the sweatshirts were that Brock Nelson, Anders Lee, and Josh Bailey were wearing the first time that Barry Trotz was the head coach. And again, that same exact mentality is the same exact type of gusto they have to take in going further on in the series.
A lot of times I look at people and I see how they act or what they do, even more than what they say, particularly coaches. And like I said, to me, he sits down and he's sitting here and he's adjusting his suit. He's adjusting the sleeves on. I'm like, this guy's like, I don't have a care in the world. I'm just, let me make sure I look good for this interview. I'm not worried about the Islanders. I'm more worried about the sleeve length on my jacket. Oh, how's this look, everyone? He doesn't have a care in the world.
I'm going to tell you one thing. John Cooper, if he doesn't win the Stanley Cup this year, is not a good coach. Here's the thing, right? This is a team built by Steve Yzerman. And I'll tell you one thing. Steve Yzerman is going to build a fantastic team in Detroit. They've got all the makings to be an outstanding team as well, right? You wonder what Cooper would have looked like if he didn't inherit this absolute star-studded team.
Yeah, but don't sell Brisebois short as a GM. He brought in the grit pieces that they needed to win last year, where Stevie Y never
sell him short. I'm just saying he's got an outstanding team. He's got the most stacked team in the league over the last however many years it was. So the last 3 or 4 years, he's had the most talented team in the league, and he's only come away with 1 cup.
Yeah, but you were saying that Stevie Y built this team. Yeah, he did. But all those years they couldn't get over the hump with him at GM because he wouldn't do the little things that need to be done, which was namely bringing in some grit pieces, which when Brisebois did that was what gave them the impetus to get over the top. So you can't just say Stevie Y. Brisebois did have some part in that. You
made me think that Stevie Y put the team together well, and John Cooper just couldn't do it. And until again he was given every single until he was given the team with the most talent, and he was added, all this other pieces like the grit and the sandpaper that teams need. You ever think that he just wasn't good enough to win?
You need grit and sandpaper in the playoffs.
I'm not disagreeing.
You need that.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying he had it before in the past. Here's the thing. Maybe my comments are masked based off of the hatred there towards John Cooper's comments today. I'm just saying, if he comes in and he doesn't win the cup this year again with that ultra talented team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, $18 million over the cap, makes you look at him a little different as a coach, doesn't it?
Okay, they're not over the cap. Don't even push that narrative, Doug Hamilton. Don't even push it. They're not over the cap.
My name is Dougie Hamilton, and if this was the regular season, it'd be $18 million over the cap.
You never hear him making excuses, and I won't do it now.
I'm just saying. Seriously. Does that make you look at John Cooper differently as a head coach?
No. I think he's a very good head coach. I do. I just think he's arrogant from being a champion, and like I said, he doesn't have a care in the world. He doesn't think there's any way the Islanders can beat Tampa Bay.
I think he's coaching a team with 3, possibly 5 Hall of Fame caliber players on it. And if he doesn't go ahead and come away with multiple cups, he's a waste. Think about it, right? You think Stamkos might have a chance at the Hall of Fame? You think Kucherov might have a chance at the Hall of Fame? You think Braden Point might have a chance at the Hall of Fame? You think Victor Hedman might not have a chance at the Hall of Fame? You think Vasilevsky might not have a chance at the Hall of Fame? Son of a gun's won how many Vezinas now? I'm telling you, he might have 3 to 5 Hall of Fame caliber players. And if he can't come away with more than 1 Stanley Cup victory, he's an absolute waste of a head coach.
Okay.
Mark it down.
All right, pump the brakes. It's game 1 of a 7-game series.
I'm just saying, if he is, I said he doesn't win a Stanley Cup this year, he's a waste of a head coach.
Okay. All right. I'll just disagree. I don't think he's a waste of a head coach. I think he's a good head coach.
If they don't win, waste of a head coach. Seriously, we're going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 Hall of Fame caliber players on this team, all in their prime.
Okay, but salary cap is going to eventually take some of those players away.
3 to 5 Hall of Fame caliber players in the salary cup era. And if you don't win more than 1 cup, you're not a great coach.
Okay. Yeah, that's an argument for the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I could have a million examples to where I'd have to ask you about a certain manager or coach or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds good. Those happen on Thursdays.
Not this Thursday. Not this Thursday, though. We have an Islander game on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Grumpy old man. We'll have to go ahead and renegotiate the time period. Bruce M. They're saying before this series, Cooper said their past 2 series were the hardest they've played over the last few years. The Islanders were 1 breakaway short from forcing the Game 7. Let that sink in.
Yeah, I didn't think that we were going to beat Tampa last year. I even think the games that we won were just. I didn't think we were better than Tampa last year.
David C. They're saying they're playing like John Tonelli. Go into the corner, come out with the puck.
Yes, absolutely.
The film's also saying, isn't it kind of fun playing dickhead coaches? Don't you think? It's good when we beat them. I do have a big smile on my face afterwards, but if we lose, it's going to be nothing worse to eat that.
That has to be really, really tough when you know your team is more talented because they know all the talent around the league. And they're like, how the hell did we lose to them? That's what they know. That's what eats at them. It's like, how the hell did we lose to them? It would be like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Kansas City Chiefs losing a game to who the hell was the worst team in the league this year? The New York Jets, let's say, in a game that mattered.
It was the Jacksonville Jaguars, but
what's the difference?
Well,
I mean, you're like, holy shit, we lost to them? You got to be kidding me. In a game that really mattered. It's like in like a playoff game. Playoffs? That's right, Jim Mora. Playoffs. That's what it'd be like. It's like, oh.
Alexander there, my buddy who's a Tampa fan, thinks his comments don't mean anything. Talking about John Cooper. Grump, we're going to we're about at 3 hours, so we're going to zoom through some of these comments. But thinking those comments by John Cooper don't mean anything.
Well, to who? They mean something to John Cooper. They mean something to the Islanders.
For certain they do.
Just saying.
Nick D also saying best Islanders podcast, superior than superior than the rest. Nobody can match up with TJ and Grumpy.
Thank you, Nick. I 100% agree. Nick has never said anything smarter or more correct in his entire life.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Love you, Nick.
Nick D also saying, will you guys have Coach Tommy B on the next few lives? I like when Tommy B's on because he kind of puts Grumpy in line. I'm just joking, Grump. Keep up the great work, fella, all the way from Vancouver.
I'm one of those guys who, when we have a guest on, I kind of let them do their thing, and because I'm not rude, so I let them, kind of say what they want.
He's still playing. I'm bad and I'm tough, and my name's the grumpy old man. Come on, get the hell out of here.
But Tommy Baffy or most of those other guests, they're going to probably be postseason.
Yeah. I was about to say. I mean, I can't ask Tommy to come on for 3 hours. We'll be on postseason type of stuff like that. We'll have more guests on. Again, we'll be going. Save that for the postseason. But what a film saying, watching us from home, just like John Tavares. Nice little John Tavares stab. I love it.
I could say something really mean about John Tavares right now, but I'm not going to.
Brian,
I'll save that for the postseason. I was going to make a comment on a comment, but I'm going to wait for till the postseason to say that.
Hey, that sounds like a very astute point there, Grumpy. Brian P. saying Hulk playing Thunder Lips in Rocky 3, the ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
That's exactly what he said. I'm Thunder Lips, baby, the ultimate male against the ultimate meatball.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, man. Hulk Hogan, he had, for him, a full head of hair back then. That movie turned him. People forget he was a bad guy when he was in the WWF way back, and he went to Minnesota to wrestle, and eventually, but he told not Vince McMahon, but his dad, Vince McMahon, that he wanted to work in this movie, and he's like, no, he didn't want him doing it, and he did it, and it was the greatest thing for his career. It gave him so much. People looked at him outside of just being a wrestler, and he parlayed that into becoming a good guy, and the rest, as they say, is history. Good for him.
We're going to zip through. We're at about 3 hours here. Too much pessimistic saying there. We're going to eat
lightning and crap thunder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not from Rocky.
Absolutely there. Absolutely. Moving right along there. Rosario G, they're saying the Islanders played their game today close to perfection. If they can keep it up, there's a good chance they go back to Ford and never lose with a 2-0 lead in the series.
I'm not getting cocky. Don't get cocky, kid. Hey, I got it. Don't get cocky, kid. What movie's that from, TJ?
I don't know.
Star Wars.
Okay, got it.
Han Solo to Luke Skywalker.
Oh, good.
What do you mean? Look at the ease of our escape. There was nothing easy about that, sweetheart.
Scott L, they're also saying, what the hell happened to Halak? They could have used him instead of Rask.
Yeah, I think he was kind of banged up at the end of the year. A lot of favor. Swayman had taken over the number 2 spot.
Gotcha, grumpy old man. Well, we're moving right along there, Grump. What other comments do you have here? Again, we're going to miss some comments just because we're right at the 3-hour mark there, ladies and gentlemen. Best podcast. You made my night there. Thank you there, Owen J there. Yes, Grumpy. Pulak played there for the Brandon Wheat Kings there. Grumpy, you were right on with that one. Grump, is there anything else you have to say before we wrap things up? We're about here at 3 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I love talking to everyone in the Islander community. It's fantastic. Like I said, I consider everyone who listens to this podcast almost like family. I really do, and I love interacting with everyone. I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Absolutely. We just got a few more comments there. Jim P saying, good point, TJ. They need to change or color circumvent the rule, though. That's BS. They could be that far over the cap. Joe Francis also saying, John Cooper, what a smug twat. It's the same team that we beat last year in the bubble, shaking their heads. Manmeet B there saying, grumpy old man rocking the Catfish Hunter jersey. Gary Bettman would twitch himself to death.
Yeah, this is a Reggie Jackson, but it's certainly the Catfish Hunter era, without a doubt. Catfish Hunter was number 27 for the A's, and then he went to the Yankees in a big free agent deal. And he was great there. Unfortunately, he wound up getting Lou Gehrig's disease and took a nasty fall and passed away a number of years ago. Very nice man, though.
Absolutely. And then a few more comments here, Grump. Sorry, we're just trying to raffle through. Christopher C. there saying, TJ Grumpy, this is a question for both of you. Did you think Varlamov had a chance to stop Braden Point shot? I certainly think so.
He just made himself big, and Point is really good. I mean, he top shelved that. I mean, I'm not blaming. I'll blame Varlamov on some things, not on that shot.
No, I don't think he had a chance to save that one. And then Adam S. also saying, are there any similarities between this season's team and any of the dynasty years in terms of dynamic or structure?
No, this team is, I will say, the fact that they don't quit and don't give up. That same mentality. We were not defensively structured. Remember, we were way better offensively, and we could morph into any style of play. I don't think this team has the ability to morph to play different styles of play, honestly. We have to play our structured game, where that was not the case in the teams of the dynasty years. We could play any style. You want to muck it up, we can play that. You want to play a run and gun style, we can play that. You want to fight, we can play that. That team was truly special, those teams. Truly special.
Absolutely there.
That said, if this team wins a cup, this team would be special just different, but no less special, honestly, and probably more of an achievement than us winning back in the dynasty era, because we're not as talented as those teams were.
Yeah, you look at the team here, you think to yourself, how many of these players would be Hall of Fame caliber players? So, I mean, like looking at the team
right now, no one.
Yeah.
Right now, today. No.
Brian P. they're saying Cooper has 5 conference finals in 7 years, to be fair, in the salary cap era. That's good as it gets. Yeah, not winning the cup, though. Again, like when you have overwhelmingly the best team in the league, I don't know. You got to come through and you got to win. It's like saying, hey, I'm the Buffalo Bills back there in the Jim Kelly days. If you can't win it all,
Okay. That's for another podcast, because you can't say Marv Levy was a shit coach because they never won a Super Bowl. That's just horseshit.
I'm not saying he's a shit coach. I'm just saying, hey, man.
You just said that Don Cooper's a shit coach if you don't win at least more than one Stanley Cup.
I'm saying John Cooper. Okay. We're going to save that one, Grump. We're going to save that one. It's too early. It's too late to jump in on that. The Toby Apartment Brock there also says Cassidy and Cooper are starting a new podcast. It's called the CNC Crybaby Factory.
Everybody cry now. Wah, 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 wah.
David L. there saying, glad I find you guys there. I'll be here after the games from now on. Our goaltending is so good. Thanks there, David, there for tuning in. Also, he said, FYI, Grump, the video game is a machine I built.
Wow, okay.
Main machine. It's a multiple arcade machine emulator.
Wow, nice. He's smarter than me. I can tell you right now. He's way smarter than me.
And then Brian P. there saying, you guys are the best show around. Thank you so much there. Christina there saying, I'm a Habs fan. Hope we meet up in the Islanders in the finals.
Me too.
Nice. That would be nice. Well, thank you, Grump. About 3 hours. Thank you so much, Grumpy Old Man, for being a part of the podcast as always.
My pleasure.
And thank you so much for everybody who tuned in there to the podcast and live stream. Remember, the best way, we are going to be live every single post-Islanders game this playoffs. Best way to follow, best way to keep track is by subscribing there on YouTube, liking on Facebook, and then following there on Twitter. You can also go ahead and listen to the podcast in post there across all platforms, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can find this. Production is just going to be up a little later than the YouTube video will be. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you again, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.